It's a step in the right direction.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Gen Z Reviews, episode 63. Today, we are celebrating the great John Wayne with his most famous film, The Searchers, 1956, people. I mean, almost 100 years old. Isn't that crazy? It's a classic for a reason, right? And I thought, for me, this is my very first time watching a John Wayne movie. I think it's probably the same for you, Luke. So yeah, it's a big day. This is the guy you've heard about him. Every single grandfather in your life has mentioned John Wayne and how they don't just love John Wayne. It's like an obsession. And today, I think I realized why that's the case. I mean, he really is a very special man, and this is a really special movie. So I'm really happy we're all here to talk about it here. Just want to introduce my great panel, as always. Luke Galliardo here, my co-host. Wilkie's Movies and Music. Good having you on again, buddy.
Jackson.
Thank you.
Ian Morrison, Movie Nutcase, World War Joe, and special guest.
Oh, you can't hear?
Ooh, I can hear you. I can hear Jackson. I don't know.
Maybe he said Jackson. You can't hear. He said he can hear me, but not you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I don't know. Maybe headphones. Sometimes you got to put headphones in.
All right.
That's okay. But that guy, he'll be right back. That's Jordan Panthen. He is a USA Pro Boxer under Golden Boy Promotions banner. That's Oscar De La Hoya's promotions company. Nice. And he just came off a knockout victory in San Jose, California last month. And we had him on for the Rocky stream a few months ago. And yeah, he's a big John Wayne fan, and we're pretty excited to hear his perspective. He said he'd only come back if he talked about John Wayne. So it's pretty cool. Here. You hear me now, Jordan?
Yeah, I hear you now. Okay, I mean, what are you going to do? In the backstage, it works good, then we go live, and then boom, it doesn't work. No, this is how it goes, man. I don't know.
That's always something.
Believe me, I've done it 100 times, and every time there's like something, a little weird thing that like happens, and it's like the whole. Yeah. I always love the IT department. They're like, did you try shutting it off and turn it back on? It's kind of that thing where like back out and go back in.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. No, Brawler was just filling us in on your background with boxing, so that's pretty cool, man. That's I love hearing about that.
Yes, sir. And John Wayne does a lot for my upbringing and boxing and patriotism, which I represent every time I fight. So a huge John Wayne fan. My mom's famous line was, "My first word was egg, and my second word was John Wayne." And that's just the truth.
Wow.
Watching him, since I've been a kid, got a whole collection, VCR, DVDs. I mean, it's literally I grew up for. If you see my house, I gave you a tour of my house. I have John Wayne cutouts everywhere. I got pictures. I got John Wayne whiskey and shot. I mean, I got so much shit in my house. I mean, I got so much stuff.
You're talking about the things to say. There's a great line throughout this. It gets used a few times, not to go too far in, but that'll be the day. Yeah. I love that when he drops that every once in a while throughout this movie. But anyway,
he's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm glad we're all here to talk about him. Why don't we just get right into it? I think this movie, I'm definitely curious because, John Wayne, he's done so many films, right? I'd like to know how many. I mean, he's got just a massive collection of movies under his belt. And, he's one of those very few actors that are just universally loved and appreciated. You know what I mean? Especially by like the older generations. I can't, like, every time I bring up like a John Wayne movie, I talk to some people about this one, The Searchers, and I talk to some old family members about it. And every single older member of my family, they all just love him. They deeply appreciate him beyond like what a normal actor can do. And I think that's strange. You don't hear that about Sam Elliott. You kind of hear it about Clint Eastwood. A lot of people really love and admire Clint Eastwood, but John Wayne really stands out alone against the rest. And I kind of wonder why that's the case. Why do you guys think that's the case?
Well, to start off, just with the Western films, I'm not sure what he does other than Western films, but he kind of launched
a lot of military films too.
Military, okay.
Yeah. A lot of. Oh, anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
But he's he is considered one of the greatest Western, making one of the greatest Western films of all time. I'm not sure. I'm sure there are plenty of other Westerns, in the early 40s, mid 40s, but this is the one that kind of like blew it up. Or sorry, John Ford blew it up, but John Wayne, he starred in, John Ford's the director of this movie. But John Wayne definitely launched it off for the Westerns in general.
I'll say the time frame that he made movies was prolific. He made movies for a very long time. I mean, like from, I don't think I'm exaggerating too much, like 20s or 30s through like almost to the 80s. I mean, he had a span of movies, but I think he always still captured that. You know, think about all the things that happened during that time frame, from like late 20s or early 30s to like almost to the 80s. Got a lot of different wars going on, things like that. And I think that was just like one of those. He's patriotic. He was stoic. He was kind of the quiet, strong guy, and wasn't afraid to stand up, you know, against things. And I think that was just some characteristics that people really clung on to. You know, that was something they needed through some of those times. And, so anyway, I think that's why he's loved like that. But.
Yeah, the other thing you got to realize is that he never really intended to become an actor. You know, he just moved out to Hollywood because it was during the 30s, during the Depression. At the time, California was the place to go where, you know, people actually could earn a decent living. And of course, that was when the film industry was just starting to kick off in the silent film era. And he got started just basically doing odd jobs on the sets, like cleanup crew and, moving equipment around, gaffer, helping out different crew members. It was through John Ford that he started to get into the acting. He started off as a stuntman when he really started getting in front of the camera, but it was John Ford that said, you know, you could actually be a movie star. You got something very real here, because he's not like the typical actors that you see like at that time that came from mostly theater backgrounds where they were really, really pushing the expressions and the exaggerations and how they did their lines and did their performances. Like, especially in this film, you see a lot of what I would say overacting from some other actors. Yeah. But with him, he always did it very, you know, in his own way. He didn't try to be like those guys because he knew that wasn't his style, didn't work for him. And yet he comes across as a very everyday kind of person. You know, like you said, stoic. You know, you believe that he's a man who's been in war and he has faced death a few times and come out on top of it. But yeah, the other films he's done more military. He's also done like a few comedies, not too many comedies, but basically he became synonymous with Westerns more so than any other actor at that time.
When he's kind of a larger than life character, like literally, he's a large man. He's a very tall man. He's very broad. Like he's a man.
He's
a big guy.
6'4" or something.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, 6'4", 6'5". For that time was like 6'8", 6'9". Today.
Yeah.
Because he was a football player in college before he moved out to Los Angeles. So, yeah, you could tell that he has that sportsman kind of feel in how he talks and how he moves around and everything like that.
Yeah, I think what's big with John Wayne is like your morals. So many movies he plays the same type of character, which is not a bad thing. It's like, you know, stand up for your friends, you treat the ladies right, you don't back down, you know. It's just like he lives morals in his movies and he does it right way. Like there's a famous thing, one of the reasons why he really never worked with Clint Eastwood is you think, why they didn't do a movie together or whatnot. He didn't like how Clint Eastwood shot guys in the back in his movies and whatnot. He didn't like how that worked out. It's like not fair almost. He doesn't have morals. It's just different or whatnot. You know, he didn't do many comedies like you mentioned. He did one famous comedy though, The Quiet Man. That's a great movie. That's like a tradition. You got to watch it every year on St. Patrick's Day. It's like a tradition. But that's the most famous comedy he did. It's a hilarious. And Emma McClintock. That's one of the comedy. That's another great one too.
And North to Alaska. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
right there.
But obviously he's famous in Western. Has some great military movies. You know, my dad was a Navy Seabee in the Navy, and he made a movie called The Fighting Seabees, which is about the Navy Seabees, and so had that all the time. But I think that's a big part. It's just his morals and whatnot. A lot of his movies, he just portrays a type of what a man should be, how he should live, and whatnot. Which is interesting saying that because this one movie we're talking about tonight, The Searchers, he plays like almost a little bit different. He's almost like vendetta. Like it's actually different than what I'm saying. That's like it's like a
Yeah.
one-off, which makes Searchers very interesting.
But
Yeah, he's not the typical hero here.
yeah, but I think it kind of gives him an arc in this one where he's obviously he's came out of a war that he was, you know, has a lot of things that still hung up on that one and some feelings of things, and which is understandable. But yeah, he kind of goes. Yeah, there's a couple times you're just like, "Oof, you're going a little far there," you know. But you kind of see an arc, I think, through the movie towards, not to go too far into it, but yeah, like towards the end, I think he's comes around a little bit.
Yeah, well, let me tell everybody about the movie a little bit. In case you aren't familiar with what the story is, I have a little synopsis about it. This takes place in post-Civil War Texas, and we follow John Wayne as Ethan Edwards, who returns home to his brother's ranch after a Comanche raid kills his brother and sister-in-law and kidnaps their young daughter, Debbie. Ethan sets out on a relentless, years-long quest across the American frontier to find her, accompanied by his adopted nephew, Martin. And as the obsessive search drags on, the duo's chances of finding their long-lost family member grows thin. And I was really surprised by the scope of this story. I didn't realize, actually going into this, I didn't know anything about it. So I was just so happy to be thrown into this incredible story with a really strong introduction that immediately hooks you. Just talking about this movie as a whole, Ian, I know this is, you said one of your favorites, so I imagine it had a pretty strong impact on you. If this movie had like a stronger impact on you guys, what was it and why was it such an impactful film for you during your, I don't know, for your life?
Ian?
Well,
Yep. Sorry.
yeah, I was wondering if you wanted one of the other guys to go first.
No, you go first, Ian. Go first.
Okay, well, I mean, it's just, you know, the scope of the Western, you know, the visuals, John Ford's cinematography that he was most famous for. You know, it's just something you don't really see anymore. You know, one thing that John Ford was known for was just setting a mood with how he set up the camera. And you get that, you know, you get that wide open plains feel when you see those shots of Monument Valley. You know, in many ways, John Ford was the person who put that on the map through his films. But then, like with John Wayne's performance as Ethan, he's like, you see the turmoil that he's going through, you know, or at least you see it towards the end. But most of the film is like he's just bitter because of what's happened with his family. You know, he's bitter because he lost the war. He was a Confederate soldier, and so he's basically, from what we're seeing, he's kind of on the wrong side of history. But now he comes home, he just wants peace, and you know, it's like even when you see him with Martha, the mom, there's something that suggests that maybe before he left, that he and her were in a relationship, but she had to basically go with his brother instead because he went off to war. And then like now the only family he has left is gone. It's been killed off. The only person that might still be alive is his niece, and so he's trying to find her before she becomes a young woman. And then after that, he's worried about, you know, she's gonna have Comanche babies and everything like that. And then at that point, he's like, well, then she's no longer my niece, stuff like that. So it's like, it's a different kind of hero that in many ways today we'd see him as a villain. You know, Hollywood would portray him as a villain, as something that you just don't see anymore, where you kind of feel for him. You feel for what he's going through and what he's contemplating. And some people have wondered why he hates these people so much. You think, well, because he's from the South, he's Confederate and stuff like that, so automatically he's a racist and stuff. But in that one scene where the little girl Debbie is hiding outside by the gravestones just before the chief Scar shows up and kidnaps her. If you look on the gravestones, those are the gravestones of Ethan and his brother's parents, and both of them say killed by Comanches. So it's like, so that's where more than likely where his racism started, because of like losing his parents because of the Comanches killing them.
That explains it. That's subtle, man. That's crazy. I was wondering when they were going to reveal that, but there it is.
Oh, good catch.
I didn't even know anything about it until actually today, because I saw something in a comment section on one of the videos I was watching about it, and somebody's like, that's what's on the gravestones, and I go back and I look at the clip. I'm like, yeah, I can't believe I never noticed that. It makes sense.
Wow. Does anybody else have any thoughts on how this film has impacted you?
Yeah.
Before we move on,
I'll speak on it real quick. I mean, first of all, think about where they lived. Like, you put that in perspective, like it's middle of nowhere. That kind of blows me away. Like, it's nothing out there. But just to back off what Ian said, I wouldn't necessarily just go to racism and whatnot, Confederate soldier or whatnot. I don't think that really portrays it all. I hate the ending because I'm racist. I think the dude was an angry man. I think he was very angry from the jump. For what reason, losing war of this, he just had a lot of anger built up, and he didn't know what to do. And then his whole his brother and his whole family's white. It's pretty horrific. The wife, the husband, the one daughter dies later. The son dies. It's like the dog dies. Like, oh, come on, you kill the dog. I hate that when you kill the dog. Like, you kill the dog. Like, it's almost like worse than killing a person. You kill the dog. Like, come on. So I think it's just awful. And then he just goes on. He just goes to turn. He needs something to do. It's like a man who was lost, who was angry, and this happened. He just like, that's what I'm doing. And then it portrays what the movie's made in the 40s, I believe, 50s.
Yeah,
so,
56.
Yeah, 56. Okay, so like time is different then. So like let's think about it. They're in the middle of Texas, middle of nowhere. Nothing's developed out there, and different. They're portraying the 1800s or the late 60s after the Civil War ended. Back then it's like. I mean, I don't live back then either, but I'm just assuming that it's out there. It's a harsh environment. You got droughts. You got no grocery store to go to. Then you got the Native Americans who were encroaching on their land, but they have no support from any military because it's not developed Texas a lot of times. So they're kind of on their own. So it's definitely a mutual hatred, like defending themselves, like they're dangerous and whatnot. He probably had run-ins throughout his life, I'm assuming, with Native Americans, Comanches, or when he had run-ins with them, so he had previous experiences that rubbed him the wrong way, just like any human or dog, and people have experience with certain people over time in their life. They don't like them, they're bad experiences. That's what it kind of seems off to. And then his whole family is married. He just, boom, hate. I mean, who wouldn't? If my brother died and got murdered and his house burned and the whole family murdered, I mean, back then, there's no media, there's no education on things that we know now. You would go right there. You want vengeance and whatnot. There's no law and order out then, so it's on you. And then what's crazy and impactful to me, so much time passed. I mean, we think about it. Like the girl, I don't know how old she was, but 5. Then she was like 8. We're talking like almost 15 years. He went on this journey. Is like a whole portion of his life went on.
Well, what's weird about that, Jordan, is it's only, they say it's 5 years, but it seems longer because you see she's a little girl and then she's like, that actress looks like she's 20 years old.
Well, let's think about when the movie went. I was thinking at least 16 to 18, 17. Yeah. I could believe that. I would no 14, not 13. I mean, again, then she was like 5.
Yeah, I think she's like maybe supposed to be 10 or 11.
In the beginning.
You look at her. So
in the beginning, 10 or 11. Yeah. Anyways, it's a long time. He's just whole life. He's just on the road tracking these guys down, and I rewatched it. So I told you, Jax, I rewatched it about a month ago. I haven't watched it in a long time. Watch Johnny movies all the time. This wasn't one of my top 10, but I haven't seen it in a long time. So let me watch again. I had a new appreciation watching it. How like the journey, the arc, and like what the characters themselves go throughout the movie and the journey and whatnot. So I had a little more appreciation to it. It was like you get more in depth. I really paid attention to like really trying to dissect this movie and what they're trying to, and this the whole journey, this what they go on, what they go through. It's like a man, a human being to go through that over the course, tracking someone down. It's almost like hard to fathom someone doing that. Yeah.
5 years on the road. You know what I mean? There's no comfort in that, right? I mean, on the road for 5 years straight.
Looking over your
is
shoulder
insane.
constantly.
But even back that up before, though, he's been gone during war for a good number of years before that. So it's like, hey, I'm going to go to war, fight for my, he was fighting for what, the South in that time? Yeah, I'm going to fight a war there, and then I'm going to fight another war.
Well, it seemed like a man who knows nothing else. Like, I don't know. Think about our military today. A lot of times they come home and they feel lost and what they knew in the Marine Corps, this, that, and they come back and now I operated with multi-million-dollar equipment. Now they come back and now I can be trusted with some this or that. So they feel lost. So he's probably feeling the same way. And then all of a sudden this landed on his plate right away. I'm like, okay. I this is what I'm good at. War vet. I'm gonna go do that. And you see how he takes it so far. The other guys who weren't in war, I forgot the other actors, guys who joined them in the beginning, they weren't in war. They only lasted so long. Like, we can't go on with you. He was like, I don't need you. I'm doing a do by myself. Besides, the one kid came. He's the adopted son, right?
Martin.
Yeah, Marty.
Martin adopted son.
Yeah,
But everybody
Marty.
else didn't come. He was just, I don't need you. He was he different mindset, his mentality was just different. He never had to decompress, I guess, from after the war. That's what it kind of seemed like.
But I'd
That's
say
a
with
good
his
point.
character too, he kept on going, even though John Wayne was pretty ruthless with him. He took it to him like the whole time, but he kept it going too. So I had a lot of respect for his character, though. Even though maybe that was some of the overacting. Maybe some people were talking about earlier, where they throw yourself on the rock and be like, "Oh no!"
Yeah,
You know,
he was a little different. It was like My Way or the Highway with John Wayne, but he was different because he grew up with them. His whole life, it seemed like, so that understand, like, he grew up his whole life. John Wayne, I would say, wasn't around. I would say he was at war. He didn't even know the kids until he came back. He doesn't really remember everyone. But the other guy, he was with them since he's been a child. So yeah, he just I mean, it makes sense.
You gotta love the perseverance, right? I mean, imagine 5 years of doubt. I mean, you're looking for a little girl who's been kidnapped and abducted, and there's no guarantee at all that she's even still alive, and that's your life's mission for 5 years straight. Gosh, and they really don't have many resources at their disposal either. But John Wayne is a very resourceful man.
Dedication, there's no Google Maps.
No Google Maps, man. No
what I enjoyed
Maps.
about this film that inspired me mostly is I'm kind of a history buff, and I love like the Civil War, like that whole period. I've been to the Battle of Gettysburg. I just love it. So it is insane to me that this same case happened a couple times in our history already. Like a 9-year-old girl was actually taken by Indians, and she spent 24 years in their tribe. Similar to this, and then in another case, another little girl was taken in 1865, and she was rescued. And it's just crazy the missions they went on. It's just very that's why this film was so that's why this film was so impactful for me, because I'm like, this actually happened numerous times. And
those are the ones that get recorded. Imagine all the ones that, because obviously like I said, we don't know. There's no newsstands back then. A house gets burned down, we're not going to know about it. Imagine how many houses that got destroyed. And you're like, oh, I guess everyone's dead, and it's probably all these people have been taken.
Yeah, like they said that
the
book. Sorry, they said that the book that this movie is based off of is based on a real life woman named Cynthia Ann Parker. Who
that's a 9-year-old.
That's who you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was kidnapped by by Indians when she was a little girl and was raised with them. And then when the Texas Rangers found her, she basically went back, but she didn't want to go. So, and like eventually, a couple of years later, she died, of grief when her son, who was like the last chief in their tribe, died of some disease, I think. And then another story that really happened that this is based off of is like a black man named Britton Johnson. His family was attacked and kidnapped by Indians as well. And so he basically spent a couple of years as well trying to get them back. Eventually he did. His wife and kids all still alive. They don't really know how exactly. Like maybe he made a deal or something, more than likely. But so there are real life accounts that this story is based off of, apparently.
I appreciate, like,
that's very interesting.
I don't like how everything is so soft and smooth. They were all great back then. That's the modern telling of these stories, right? The Indians, they didn't do anything wrong. And there's just so many examples of just total savagery. And it's not like that's always the case, right? But I mean, that was definitely there. And like terrible things. These guys in this movie did terrible things. Like what was insinuated that they're doing to these girls when they abduct them is awful. And they kill everybody else except the girls. And then the girls are just indoctrinated into their strange system. And, you get a strange example of what happens to girls that are indoctrinated in that system about 70% way through the film. You see them, they're mumbling, they're incoherent, they're juvenile. It's an awful thing. And, they got some balls to show that in here.
Yeah. And then but you also do get to see some positive parts of like of Native Americans, and they're like, you got the woman,
the wife,
the wife, which is played mainly for comedy, but you see that from her tribe they actually they welcome them in to make deals and stuff like that. So it's like as much as like it's a small part of the film that kind of gets overlooked by most people, I think it does showcase that there were positive dealings with Native Americans as well.
Oh yeah, but that's just tribe by tribe basis. I mean, yes, back in the day, I think Comanches and Apaches were a very violent, ruthless tribe. And then you have the Navajos or other tribes, the Iroquois that were more trade-wise. So that just, I mean, the different tribes are almost like different organizations, different people. They don't. I mean, they attacked each other before we ever came and killed each other and took over your land, took over their land. But yeah, all the tribes acted differently. So yes, of course, there's a Google search. I mean, you'll find that there's violent tribes and there's non-violent tribes. So, but yeah, for sure. Part of that's how some of the disease happened. Though they do trading and whatnot, and I mean, they didn't know this back then either. Who would know that I would have a disease that's on this fur coat that I'm going to sell to you that you are not immune to, that you're going to get? I mean, like those things is like, how do they know that? I mean, but yeah. That's a whole. I'm just going off topic a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah. Here, we'll move on. No, you're good. We'll get to some of these chats real quick, and then in case you're joining us for the very first time, everybody, we appreciate you watching. First off, we are going to break down the movie into 5 chapters. I don't know if I said that or not. We are going to start with chapter 1 in just a minute. Let's say hello to everybody real quick. Proctophile's here. Good to see you, buddy. Good evening, boys. How's everyone doing tonight? Good seeing you, Proctophile. We're doing good. We're ready to get this ball rolling. Hey, Blue Collar Losers here. Too many damn Westerns. Man, I mean, you're not wrong.
You can never have too many Westerns.
Don't disrespect the Westerns, man. That's an American staple right there.
Grew up on those.
It has to probably be the most oversaturated, like, cinematic market, right?
It's dropped off a lot, though. I mean, for a time period, it was a lot.
So we're due for some, is what you're saying.
The quality of Westerns have changed. I mean, when's the last really? I mean, I don't know. But like, definitely they make some low budget ones these days. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not watching that.
Probably the best.
Horizon.
Horizon. Waiting for part 2. I mean, it was supposed to be part 1 and then part 2 in the theaters 2 months apart, and then it never happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
So a newer one I kind of got into, and I won't go too off. Have you ever seen Old Henry?
Oh, I did. I saw it like available to watch. And that one actor. I mean, yeah, I know
he's in the Buster Scruggs. I liked it. It's a little more gritty, down to earth. Like it's not glamorizing it at all. But that was good. I thought anyway. But
check it out.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Zombie Girl's here. Good to see you, Ashley. Always good to have you on. Hi, everybody. This movie rules, by the way. Oh, yes, definitely. There better not be any hate for this one. Oh, Proctophile's is showing you some love, Jordan. Love the passion, Jordan.
So I will say this movie has gotten hate over maybe more recent years, but maybe some of the things that we were talking about already. But I still think it's a great movie.
For like political reasons.
Well, just some of the actions of people towards other people. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, you know what? I think, I hate to say it, the white guy is the Native American doesn't work. All right? It doesn't work.
I was going to mention that tonight. Like, when I watched that movie a month ago, I'm like, I obviously didn't remember that. I saw the white guy. I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, that's not.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen today.
It's such a 50s thing to do.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's kind of funny. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I know what's going on here.
So obvious, too.
Yeah,
But,
Oh
you know,
my
I mean,
God! Do not bring
effort.
that up. No, run the searches. Don't even do that.
But
Well,
yeah,
you know,
That's awful.
ever a good one. He reminds us that Alec Baldwin made a Western recently, Rust.
Oh,
Remember
man.
Rust? Alec Baldwin insists on realism in his Westerns,
Did that ever
referring
come
to the
out?
moment he accidentally killed the cinematographer.
I don't know if it did.
Oh, that's
It
the
did.
movie. Okay.
It did.
It was good. I saw it.
Wonder how that all panned out. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
kind
they
of fell
released
under the
it.
radar. I think,
It was-
most people didn't even know it came out.
Well, it was a one-shot wonder.
I thought it was pretty well done. I enjoyed it.
Is that pun intended or not?
Yeah, yeah. It was, yeah,
That's messed up.
Sorry, I didn't know if
It
I
had
was
me
supposed to
thinking.
laugh or not.
yes.
Sensitive topic.
Yeah. Too soon.
No, too soon. All right, here, let's go on to the first chapter here, everybody.
I was going to throw out real quick, and I'll be quiet. I promise. I won't talk too much. But we were talking about ages, and I was trying to look this up. So Natalie Wood's character, the daughter that gets abducted, taken away. So when she's older, she's supposed to be 15. So actually filming, she was 16 and turned.
Oh.
She had her 17th birthday during the production of the movie.
She looked old.
So she was 16 to 17 whenever you saw her there. So I'm guessing if they were on the trails for like 5 or 6 years, she was supposed to be 9 or 10 when she was taken, and then she was supposed to be 15 at the. Anyway, there you go.
Weird. Dang. All right. So it wasn't that far off. She was just an older looking girl, I guess. But yeah, so chapter 1 here. Again, we're introduced to Ethan Edwards, John Wayne's character. He is a rootless Confederate veteran, and he arrives at his brother Aaron's isolated Texas ranch. This is where he reunites with the family, and tensions surface over his past and refusal to swear allegiance to the Texas Rangers. A Comanche raid, orchestrated as a distraction, massacres the family while the men are away. Debbie and her sister Lucy are kidnapped. Ethan and a small group, including adopted nephew Martin, discover the ruins and begin the pursuit. Now, I thought this was a very strong introduction that just kind of hooks you right away. And I'm kind of wondering how this film was able to craft such a devastating reveal, being the family's death, so effectively without offering much time spent with them. Why do you think that was the case?
It was, it's funny. I didn't see this part, but it's funny because it's what I was told. It's just like the situation, like they were tricked into it. And they were blindsided. Like we didn't see it coming. They definitely didn't see it coming. It was just such a cold move, and the way they did it and pulled it off.
Well, I didn't see it coming because this was my first time watching it, and I've never heard of this movie before ever. So I thought it was going to be like, oh, the man comes back from war, he's reconnecting with his family, he's got
everybody's happy.
And then 15 minutes in, it's like, the Indians have lured us away to murder our children. It's like, what?
Yeah, it was a shock.
Yeah, did not see any of this coming. This movie is so wildly violent. I never expected it to be this bad.
Yeah, it's dark. It's dark. I mean, I knew it happened, so I knew it was coming, but it's dark. It definitely grips you right away. It's like, it's like the dog dies. Come on, man. That's like, you can't, like, that's,
That's how you set up the scumbag villain. As soon as an animal gets killed, it's like, no, I don't want you to survive this movie.
Well, I think that's like right off the bat with this is like, how can we make them want to be on the trails for 5+ years hunting these people down? Like, what's the worst thing they could do to make somebody go to that length to track them down, and to make the audience like hate that?
Yeah.
What
did John Wayne see too? Right? I mean, he looked at those bodies.
That was a great scene when he's in that scene and he don't let him go in there, and he's like crying, all angry, yelling, all broken up, and don't let him go in. Don't ever go in there. Like, that whole scene was like, it kind of like gripped you. It was
even Martin Scorsese has talked about that one shot of him standing in the doorway, and he's he just crumbles down to the ground. Is like, you don't need to see what it is. You don't need to really see the graphic bloodiness of it to understand that it's so horrendous that he's literally just falling to his knees, and his face is in shadow. You can't see his expression, but that just shows you the talent that John Ford had for selling emotions through an image, and the combination of the score and the lighting and everything like that. It was plus it's like it's the 50s. You couldn't show that stuff back then. You had censors. There was only so much you could get away with. Even like, they didn't have any bad language. They didn't show like a lot of blood during the gunfights and all that stuff because, you you'd have the censor people giving you problems, making it hard for you to get the movie made. So they had to work with what they could. And John Ford had been in the industry at that point for so long that he knew how to really sell the brutality of that time period without having to make it excessively gory or anything like that, which is unfortunately, I think, an art that has been lost because now it's like there is no censorships anymore. You can do whatever you want, and it's like now we kind of become more desensitized to that stuff. If you think about it.
Your imagination for that scene is better than anything they could have shown. That's the thing right there. And also the blood, I feel like part of it too was just also back then it's just the effects weren't good. You watch some scenes where someone gets shot, there is no blood. They fall to the ground, the camera comes back, and now there's blood like in their back. So it's like some of that too. I see scenes like I'll make another movie suggesting Magnus 7. There's some great scenes. Someone gets shot and nothing happens, and then they fall and there's like some blood in the back. So that was only a couple years after this movie. But
and also the blood in these films was always too colorful, too bright red.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like you go back to some of those spaghetti westerns and stuff, and it's just like the reddest red you've ever seen in your life. Yeah. It's just splashed everywhere. But
red paint, literally just straight up red paint.
But I honestly was gonna say the same thing. That's a lost art, I think. Letting some scenes breathe and not show you everything, your imagination can go to worse places than what they can probably put on the film.
The imagination is going to do the work for the director. Yeah.
Yep. And plus, you also get that first 5 minutes where you're introduced to this family. They're clearly very loving. They're wholesome. It's like immediately you fall in love with them, and then when this horrible thing happens and you find out that they're all gone, then you're just locked in for the rest of the story with Ethan, waiting to see what's he gonna do. Is he gonna save her? Is he gonna rescue her, or is he gonna kill her if she ended up, getting to the point where she could have sex with these guys, or they would force themselves on her and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Ethan, I thought something interesting about his introduction, which he shows little resemblances of this, like kind of scattered across the movie, but especially in the beginning here, is he feels kind of aloof and that he's not entirely present. And I'm wondering what you guys think that is. Is it PTSD? Is it something else? What do you think the matter is?
I think 100%.
Yeah. He's been gone for probably a number of years, and there's that detachment, and maybe coming back to normalcy is not normal. It's just he's just. It might be just so kind of foreign to him at that point.
I think for sure, but also it's just like he's so alone, meaning no one else knows what he's going through, and he knows that, so he knows he's alone. Like you meet in a room with people, but inside he's alone because they can't relate to anyone. So I mean, I think that's exactly what it is. He just can't relate. You can't relate. We can have a conversation, my brother, this and that, but you don't know what I've been through, so it's like you just don't get it, and it's kind of hard to explain that, but like. I try to explain to this is a boxing a little different, but like people know what I go through. My father went to war. Like people it's no matter how hard they try to understand, they're just not going to know because they haven't lived it and done it. And I think that's probably what you're referring to. What you see is probably just that. Yeah.
And also probably also that he's thinking this is the life that I wanted, but now I have no chance of ever getting it. It's like you see that first moment when we're introduced to him, and like the sister-in-law Martha is welcoming him, and it's like he's about to embrace her, and then he just kisses her on the cheek, and it's kind of a very intimate moment between them. Like it suggests maybe they were in love years before when they were younger, but because he went off to war, she decided to just go with the brother. Maybe that's another reason why he left to go to war, is because she chose the brother over him at some point. So
maybe he's angry all the lost time. He went for maybe a losing war. All this time went by. He's like, for what? Maybe that feeling too. I guess our imagination. We're not going to know. Yeah.
You know what I thought was special about this? This was my first John Wayne movie, but I've seen this, like, it's sort of a style, right, of like 50s, 60s. It's 50s and 60s. It has this very unique look. And I have a picture. We were just looking at it, but I mean, come on, it's perfect. You look at this and it doesn't really, it's like an entirely different experience watching one of these old films visually compared to like where we are today. Everything is just crystal clear. It's perfect. And there's something strange about it where you just kind of lose the art of the film by how perfect everything looks, crystal clear. And maybe it's because mostly nowadays a lot of the color is so lacking and dead and drab.
Yep.
But what do you think it is that makes this pop so much? Because you look at this and it's just special. You know you're watching something special.
The way they colored the movies back then, it did.
Yes.
The colors just were like jumping out.
The
off
contrast.
The screen. Yeah, and the eyes. Like, how many blue eyes did you see in this movie? Where I kept on seeing that, like the skin color to their eyes. Like this scene right here, and that's probably part of that is John Ford too. Just his cinematography, like the vistas, the scenes that you had behind them. But yeah, I think it's the way they colored the film back then to get it. It just, maybe it's a little unnatural, but it just had this like cool pop to it.
Yeah. It feels like a portrait. Yeah, it feels like a painting in many ways, because like you got to remember this is shot on VistaVision, which I'm pretty sure at that time it was like that time's equivalent to IMAX in a way, like today. So the quality of the film was so much different from anything that had come before that. And so John Ford knew how to utilize that, because there's not a lot of like rack focusing. There's not a lot of faded out images or anything. It's very clear. There's no like zooming in or zooming out shots where you gotta adjust the lens and then
no shaky cam.
No shaky cam. Gosh.
Everything was on a tripod. Everything was on a tripod or on a truck when they're, that's the parts when they're riding through the Indian village. That's probably the closest thing to shaky cam you're going to see in this film. But it's like, but John Ford just knew how to set the image just right. I mean, how many of you guys have seen the film Fabelmans?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
the only in my opinion, the only great part in that film is the very end when John Ford gives Spielberg some advice, like if the frame is at the top, it's interesting. If the horizon's at the top, it's interesting. If it's at the bottom, it's interesting. If it's in the middle, it's completely boring. So yeah, he knew how to sell those images just right, and it just stands out in so many more ways than anything you see now.
I'd say going back and watching some of these though too, there is a difference watching a film actually filmed on film. Sorry, not to be like repetitive, but not digitally. Not that I don't like some modern movies, but there's you get some of the film grain in there. Yeah. You get there's just some nostalgia with it, I think.
Yeah. I really can't get this out of my head right now. This movie, not to go too off topic, but this movie is so inspirational and it launched off the Westerns of John Wayne movies. But this could have been the end of John Ford's, career, because during the production, he was bit by a scorpion. That almost killed him. That almost killed him. And John Wayne had a lot of pressure on him because he was asked by the financial backer to check on John Ford and to see how this would impact the rest of the movie.
John Ford.
John Ford. Yeah, he
was too stubborn to die. When you think about it, if you know anything about him, like he literally shot the footage of the Battle of Midway and almost got killed during that.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, but I'll say with John, so the pairing up of John Ford and John Wayne, I'd say if you want to see an early John Wayne and with John Ford, I think it was the late 30s at Stagecoach.
Yep, Stagecoach.
A Western you could check out. That's going to be a black and white one for you, but that's early on. I think that was one of the really early John Wayne, but that they were paired up again there. So.
Wow.
And that's the one that made him a star.
That was
his first big one. Yeah.
Well, you got to think he was also, I mean, not only in the film, but he was a hero in this film because the scorpion thing happened, and then this little girl, she had pneumonia, and he had her flown away in his what is it? They called it the sorry. It was one of his jets or something, or not his jets, but his airplanes, and they made it a big thing. Yeah,
I don't think it was a jet, but airplane.
Yeah, I know.
Little one propeller.
Okay,
plane,
they called it the Big Eagle. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was pretty big of him. So he was more like a hero on and off of the movie.
Damn, I want to see a documentary about this movie.
Yeah,
make the movie about the movie.
Yeah, there are no Netflix documentaries back then, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, they do have some behind the scenes footage of it that you can find on like the bonus features for this film if you got the DVD for it, or maybe you can find it on YouTube too. But this was actually one of the first films to ever have behind the scenes footage shot of the production.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was specifically requested by Ford.
So you know what's funny? Speaking of physical media, and Wilkie, if you look at his background, he's got the best physical media collection in every stream he joins. Yes, he does. Well, and I'm trying to get there. I'm working on it. But I watched this. I was just at a flea market last weekend, and I saw a Blu-ray of The Searchers. It was like a 3-pack. It was Searchers and 2 other movies, and I bought it because obviously we're talking about it. Perfect, and I wanted it, and I watched it on the TV. It looked great. A strange problem was it was really quiet for some reason. So I literally couldn't hear it. It was so quiet. It was very strange. So I had to rent it, and I rented it on Amazon, and it looked way worse. It is so strange. And, we always talk about how, there is a difference between like physical media quality and streaming quality. And that was the best example I've ever seen. I mean, it looked like night and day, the difference. So definitely, as always, recommend getting Blu-rays of things because it was way better. And it sounded better. Well, actually, no, it didn't sound better. So I guess not entirely selling you on it, but it was definitely,
you were doing so good.
And that
you buy it for the visuals, and you have the audio of another one playing it.
That's right.
I'm just joking.
Do the double. Here, let's get to a few of these chats, then we'll move on to the second chapter here. Emperor Goodwin says, yep, shot in VistaVision with Technicolor processing. That's why you have those vibrant colors. Yeah, it's weird. I think it's funny how there's like, they are, emboldened to say, that it's VistaVision, or it's what is it called? The coloring.
Panavision?
Panavision. Yes, Panavision. It's
but those were the big technologies at the time. It's like now hearing IMAX or whatever. But
it's cool. It's just funny. It's just a show of the times, right? Very different. Technicolor. He says Technicolor. That's something I always hear like as a promotional tool. Shot in Technicolor. So that's cool. Let's see. He also says, let the audience's imagination do the work. They'll see something in their heads far worse than you can show. Yeah. And it's like, what's funny? When you tap into the imagination of the audience, they are coming up with something more personal too, right? Filling in that gap. So, and it's like more of a fear because it's what you're thinking. It's not so much what they're showing. And when they show it, it just doesn't always work. Like you said, Ian, I'm sick of all these disgusting visuals all the time where it has to be real graphic and gross. It turns you off. You don't have to see all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more effective when there's less of that. Less is more. I mean, like you look at older horror films. I mean, like even like or not necessarily horror, like Psycho. There's not so much blood in that thing. It just sells the feeling that you feel of the build up towards when something is about to happen. That's what sells the suspense and what's keeping you on the edge of your seat. And the visuals, help with that, especially in a story like this, where at first you see the beauty of the West, the imagery and the scope of Monument Valley. It's like a big piece of artwork. But then all of a sudden, when the Indians come in and they start raiding, then you're reminded this is a very dangerous place. At first the beauty pulls you in, but then it's like you're kind of trapped in there and you can't.
And they're all alone too. You
Yeah.
see how they're all alone. It's
Yeah.
like nobody there. Your closest neighbor is like a day's ride away.
Gosh.
And
Well, yeah.
the
In the
blood
beginning,
and
they
gore.
said in the beginning they said that it was a 40-mile ride.
Oh my god!
Like to save them. It's like that's insane on a horse.
A 40-mile ride. I mean, yeah, that's at least 2 years. What are you doing on a horse in a day? I mean,
Yeah,
a little over 20 miles. I mean, I don't know, but not 40. It's a long way. That horse needs rest. I mean, if we can't do 40 in a day, and the blood and gore, I'll piggyback off that. Me personally, took the military and war movies. Like I'm not saying I just said something I watched recently. I was watching the HBO TV series
Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers. I was watching that. I mean, it's great. I'm not saying it's not good, but like a couple episodes in, I'm like, just seeing dudes' legs being blown off. People, it's like, no, I don't need this. I don't need this on right now. Another movie with Mel Gibson, which I love. Maybe I changed. I changed. Maybe since I got older, I changed. But I was watching that a while ago, I mean, a year ago, with an ex-girlfriend of mine. Actually, in the middle of it, I'm just like, it's so much blood and gore. Like, I'm good. I don't need to go. I need to go to sleep after watching this. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're great. They're great films. This is a lot. You're seeing legs being blown off. You're seeing guts fall out. I'm like, yeah, I'm good actually. Yeah.
Jordan. It's funny you'd say how like they got to ride 40 miles to get to the closest places. Like that made me think of this old Pecos Bill cartoon I used to watch when I was a kid. As like they talk about how like have you ever heard of Pecos Bill? Any of you guys?
Never heard
of
it.
Not.
He's like an old American legend about this old cowboy who was raised by coyotes. But it's this old cartoon that I used to watch, and it's narrated by Robin Williams, and he's talking about how like his family's growing up in Texas, and he says one day their father decided they were going to move. Some other family had moved in next door, which was only 200 miles away. If there's one thing I can't stand, said Bill's father, it's being cramped by squatters.
Nice. No, I never heard of that.
You gotta find it.
I miss Robin Williams.
Oh man,
we need him back.
Yeah,
and we need him now.
It's so funny just hearing him narrate that whole thing, and the animation isn't really all that good. It's kind of like it doesn't flow. But it's just funny hearing him narrate that. It comes alive because of his narration.
I'm surprised to hear that John Wayne's even in these comedies. Like Jordan, you said, wasn't one of your favorite John Wayne movies a comedy?
Yeah, The Quiet Man. You gotta watch it. I watch it every year on St. Patrick's Day. It's
not really a comedy. It has like some comedy aspects of it, but it's more like a romance drama.
There you go. But yeah, maybe you're right. It's not a mix of comedy. I find it funny. The fight scene is great. Or whatnot.
It's a
romance drama. But it's not a Western. There's no guns in it and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's a definite turn from what you're used to seeing him in.
Yeah. Well, and McClintock, I think, is very funny too. The banter back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him spanking Maureen O'Hara at the end and all that.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at Leslie Nielsen in Forbidden Planet versus Airplane, and
right.
It's the same
day.
Yeah.
But both real quick, both those comedies have in common, or like I guess romantic comedies, you say, at least the McClintock, and then romantic drama comedy and Quiet Man, but comedy of them, two great fight scenes. You got the mudslide and McClintock, their fight. That's just great, that fight scene. And the whole intro to it, they puts a shotgun in his chest. You've been putting us around every day, and someone's going to get popped to the mouth. Maybe, and then he hits him. And then the Quiet Man, that fight scene's like 5 minutes long. The fist fight, they have a beer in a pub before they go back to do it again. I don't know. Those are just great. Those are the best parts of the movie. Everybody's betting on the fight and whatnot.
And the guy literally falls backwards into a river. The stuntman landed on some rocks in that river. Almost broke his back.
All for that.
Yeah.
So our homework after this is we're all going to come up with our top 5 list of John Wayne movies, and Brawler and Luke, you got to watch them all.
Yes.
I could do that right now off the rip. I mean,
say it real quick, Jordan.
Real quick. Okay, not in order. I'm not putting these in order, but this top 5 is my top 5 favorites. Is right off the rip. Big Jake.
Oh yeah.
Sons of Katie Elder.
Yep.
McClintock.
Yeah.
El Dorado. And I would throw in the top 5. I was gonna say Rio Bravo, but I actually watched that recently, and I was like, I didn't like it as much as I thought I did.
I like Rio.
I still like it, but I just we'll talk about it later. Honestly, I would probably See, Quiet Man or Real Lobo I like too. I thought I would put
Yeah.
Real Lobo. I like Real Lobo. I like the typical guns and shooting westerns, but those are probably not in order. But Sons of KDL or Big Jake, it's definitely
Big
top
Jake,
three.
the
Big Jake's top three for me.
Cowboys.
Oh, the
Yep,
Cowboys. See, I messed up.
Cowboys,
No, I'm
yeah.
taking out Real Lobo. Putting the Cowboys in. Putting the
Cowboys.
Cowboys
We
in.
can't forget about True Grit.
True Grit.
Oh,
yeah.
True Grit too.
If you want to see him in non-westerns, other ones I'd throw in there are like Hellfighters. Where they're doing like dynamite crews, like to put out fires at like oil rigs and stuff like that.
I got something for you guys. Yeah. What did he die in? He died in 7 movies. I actually don't even know them all. He died in 7 movies.
True
Only
Grit
7.
was one, wasn't it?
No, I don't know.
Train
he didn't die
robbers.
in
Train robbers.
No, he didn't die in Train Robbers.
He died in
I'm
the
striking out.
Cowboys.
Fighting. I know a couple. The Fighting Seabees he died in. The Cowboys he died in.
Oh,
That's
the
2 right
Cowboys.
there.
The Cowboys.
The Shootist.
The Shootist, his last movie. It's 3.
Yeah.
I know it's 7. I just don't know them all. I just know it's 7 movies he died in. But that's maybe somebody do a quick Google search and find out. But
Or I could name 3 more movies and be wrong at the rest of them too. I was like naming everything that wasn't the Cowboys was but
that was brutal. That was brutal. But that made the movie actually better than you really wanted. The kids came out and just mollywopped them. That was awesome.
Yeah,
So,
but the Shootist, I would agree. That was later in his career. But
that was his last movie made.
That's a great that bar scene at the end.
Yeah, and the Cowboys, great line. I broke my back twice. The whole thing. I this and that. On my worst day, I could beat the hell out of you before he dies. The Cowboys. Yeah, that was.
You could see him and a later in career Lauren Bacall, beautiful, like actress for a long time, and then a very young Ron Howard in that one. So.
Oh, that's cool.
And the bad guy in the Cowboys, he's been in Hang 'em High with Clint Eastwood. I forget the actor's name, but he's
Bruce Dern.
There we go. He makes it. He's a great bad guy.
The guy from MASH is in there too. I'm blanking on his name. The older guy in MASH, like, isn't it him? I don't know. Keep going.
Bruce Dern. Sorry, I just got it. Bruce Dern. He was really old in The Hateful Eight. Am I tripping?
Yeah, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he was the old man on Spawn Ranch.
He still makes a great villain as an old man. He's a mean old man. But yeah.
Nice. Good John Wayne discussion.
We're going off on
I know.
No, that's good. Hey, it's
Continue.
It's good. Here, we'll say if some more people jump to the chat, then we'll get to the next chapter. We're only on chapter 2, so yeah. Jacob Ironside, hail all. What's up, Jacob? Good to see you, man. Oh, Megan's here. Hi, Megan.
Hey, man.
Megan has a question for you, Luke. She says, "Hey guys, I know this doesn't pertain to the movie, but is Luke drinking bourbon?"
Leftover from the wedding.
Nice. Luke just got married, everybody.
Whoa!
Gen Z
Congrats,
marriage.
Celebrating.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Still celebrating.
Yeah.
Still
all night and all day.
Many more years of great
What are you
memories
doing
together.
here, man? You should be on your honeymoon.
I know.
That's
this
next.
is more important.
You're gonna need some John Wayne whiskey. John Wayne whiskey.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
I got a bottle.
I got you.
Whoa!
Yes.
Right. There you go.
Dude, whiskey.
Hey.
Yeah,
man, you got a
bars.
nice setup there. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll have to give you a tour one day. I got a bunch of John Wayne stuff. I mean,
That's
this is around John.
sweet.
I got one right here. I got one right here in my dining room.
Well, I love it.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice.
And then I got one more over here. Oh, look, I'm back in my dining room. I mean, we got John right here. I got a whole room.
Oh, I love that.
I still have to decorate my house. I got a whole guest room upstairs still with stuff. I got one more over there in the corner.
Man,
John Wayne.
all right.
I got another one upstairs, but
You
I
just
wasn't
wake up
joking.
and walk through the room and go, "Hey, Duke, how's it
Yeah,
going?"
dude. I mean, I got them everywhere.
Yeah,
I wasn't joking.
You were
so.
not joking at all. I love
Do you ever
that.
get startled? Do you ever get startled and walk down and see like a human standing there? Like
a shadowy figure
it's
in
funny.
the corner.
I have one. Oh, this guy right here. I have 3. I have one upstairs, but this guy right here with the gun, John Wayne with the gun. I used to point him at the window and have it open. Neighbors would walk by and freak out.
I was gonna say, imagine the burglar. That's the first thing you see.
It's like people walk in the house like, oh my god.
It's like the Home Alone scene. With
Never
all the-
mind.
Yeah.
It's like the burglars get arrested and they're questioned by the cops and say, "So who's this guy you saw with the gun that scared you off?" It's like, I think it was John Wayne. It's like, no, it
I
was
swear
dead.
it was John.
Big cowboy hat, 6-shooter. He was pointing at me.
It's like,
That's awesome. I love
all right,
that.
Pilgrim, make your move.
I have
you
a
got some
classic
nice
John
pieces.
Wayne, the OG John Wayne one. I don't. It's in my hometown house in New York. He has some bullet holes in them because we did airsoft on him.
Oh, yeah.
We were drawing on John Wayne. So
Doing
he's a
quick
little beat
draws.
up. OG one. Yeah, but I
That's
had
funny.
a dog too who's always scared of him. He's my dog. My old dog was.
Those look pretty real.
Figured out. Yeah,
Those are nice.
Yeah,
That's
no,
really good.
I love him. Yeah.
Hold on,
Thanks
just to
for showing
clarify,
us.
I like to bounce off Emperor Goodwin's message. You're not in John Wayne's house, are you?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
shit. I just broke into John Wayne's house.
Yeah, I mean, no,
I love
my
it.
house.
No,
I got I literally got a whole guest room upstairs with nothing, just a bunch of like pictures and paintings. Like, I just haven't found places to put it.
Well, it's
yet,
just
so.
putting stuff you enjoy in there, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm glad you're a collector. That's respectable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got 100%. Every Christmas, somebody gives me something new, shotgun something. I'm like, yep.
It's a good thing. It's probably
I can't.
a
I
good
never
thing.
have enough.
It's probably a good thing John Wayne's no longer alive. He probably put a restraining order out on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Obsessed.
I bring a girl into the house. They're like, who is this? I'm like, you don't know who John Wayne is? It's not gonna work. Sorry, gotta go.
Sit down. We're gonna start watching some movies.
Kick her right out of there.
Oh my gosh.
It's time to get educated on this. So
Yeah, I don't know what younger people. I mean, you're in your late 20s, right, Jordan? I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty rare. Like, I was surprised to hear you were such a big John Wayne fan. You know,
No,
I
it
think
is
it's
rare.
kind of lost with our generation.
It's on the parents, really. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, he passed away in 1979, so I mean that was I don't know 17 years something before me. But anyways, like so it is on the parents. I mean, or because who today strolls across unless you're scrolling Amazon Prime? And, we watch a Western or whatnot. I mean, I was introduced from my father, and we had so many VCRs, DVDs. I mean, I have so much of that, and I just loved it. I mean, I loved cowboys and guns and this horses. I was all into that. So I mean, yeah, and just like I said, the morals and whatnot. I have books upstairs called the John Wayne Code. It's a great book or whatnot, living by like morals and whatnot. Like, and that's how I live that's how I live my life or whatnot on things that that I've learned from John Wayne movies. It's like it is fiction, but at the same time there is some nonfiction in there. The way he lives his life, you can portray yourself. It's not like just. And he lived like just the kind of man he was, and what he did, and what he represented in the country. Like back in the day, when people thought not from America, people thought USA, America. What the first thing they thought of? They thought of John Wayne. They didn't think of LeBron or I'm picking on LeBron, but basketball or athletes. They're like America, John Wayne. If he weren't from this, that's what you thought of and whatnot. So I mean, yeah, he like emphasized America to the rest of the world.
Yeah, there's not really that kind of standout American personality now. Like who's now? It's not a boxer, sadly. It's not. I wouldn't even say it's a basketball player. I mean, LeBron's kind of like he's not even playing anymore, is he?
He's past his time. He is, but it's
I don't know. On John Wayne's level, no one. Also, it's kind of watered down because there's so many actors and actors less back then. I mean, there's so much to choose from. I mean, I think there's probably not one person, probably a multitude of people. Yeah, that was I would say.
I mean, hey Jordan, since
Yes.
you're such a huge John Wayne fan, what was his real name?
Marion Morrison. Come on, bro. You testing me?
This guy.
That's school.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, sit down, Ian.
Tommy Morrison, the boxer. Well, there's some conference. Was he really his grandnephew or something like that? They claimed he was on that, but yeah, from the Tommy Morrison from the movie Rocky V, he was a real fighter. But yeah, he claimed to be John Wayne's grandnephew.
And some more useless knowledge. He was born in my home state, so Iowa.
Nice. Wow,
believe it or not,
it's deep within your roots.
Winterset, Iowa.
So you're somehow related to John Wayne.
Oh yeah, we're pretty much
distant.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe I might be related to him too.
Yeah.
You see my name, right?
Oh
yeah,
that's right.
There you go. You might be. Start doing some research at Ancestry.com.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out here soon.
Oh, that's funny. Here, let's go. All right, we'll go to this next chapter.
Part 2.
Go to this next chapter here.
Now we're out of the first part of the movie. No, just kidding.
That was good. Good fun, guys.
That's good time.
So yeah, all right. The second chapter, the posse, they track the Comanches, but they are outmaneuvered here, unfortunately. And so far, the band of brothers here, it's it's the Rangers, it's Ethan, and it's Marty, and it's not really working out. They're kind of all failing to work well together. So Ethan and Marty, they split from the group and they kind of go off on their own. And Ethan finds Lucy's body and feels pretty overwhelmed at the loss. It's sort of one of those moments where you really see a bit of a human inside himself, even though he's kind of shading that with his, stoic demeanor. And Ethan's growing bitterness becomes quite evident as he struggles to work with Martin. They don't get along very well together, and it doesn't really get any better throughout the rest of the movie. And along their route, a swindling trader named Mr. Fetterman attempts to kill Ethan in his sleep, following his reveal that Debbie was acquainted with Scar's tribe. And as wise as he is, Ethan catches him and shoots him dead on the spot. But the search continues in the meantime, while Martin, who is sort of, as we've been talking about, he's a bit dramatic. It turns out he actually has a girl of sorts, Lori. She's sort of in the background. We encounter her along this trek. And she's sort of like a childhood friend who has been longing for him for a very long time, and he didn't even know it. So that creates kind of an interesting little romance to complement the more violent nature of the film. So, I think something we were talking about, John Wayne being like particularly stoic, he has these moments where he does show emotion, like, the way he reacted when he saw their dead bodies and he was pushing Martin away. We also get a really strong moment with him when he sees, or actually, it's not even when he sees Lucy. We don't see Lucy dead at all. This is obviously one of the girls that was taken. She was the older one. She's dead. That happens off screen. And he's approached by Martin, and this other dude who was Lucy's boyfriend. And he just kind of breaks for a split second. And you see so much pain in his eyes. And it's really a very striking, impactful moment when he delivers this really strong monologue. What do you think made this moment so impactful? You guys remember that?
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just another, like, it brings you back to that first scene where he found the bodies and whatnot. And now it's been, I don't know, I'm summarizing, it's been like an hour since then, an hour and a half, however long it's been the movie, it's been since then. And now the hope that you're going to find both alive, you've never watched it before, the hope that you're going to find both alive, and that even the viewer doesn't know that he didn't find them, then he has to break it again. You see that emotion, and you see him having hope for the Martin, having hope that she's still, like, they're both still alive, and he has to break it to him. He didn't want to do. He didn't want to break. Ethan didn't want to break that, and he was forced to do it. And he did it in an angry way because he was angry. He was angry, so he expressed his emotion in an angry way. I think that's what it was. And yeah, their relationship was kind of weird. I mean, you mentioned that scene where the guy came to try to kill him after he gave information. He left Martin there asleep to get shot at. Like, come on, it's a DICK move, man. I mean, but I think it was just very angry. He was not happy, but he was hurt, and then he didn't want to say it, and he was forced to say it, and he just like, don't ever ask me again. I think that was the line. Don't ever ask me again. Don't ever ask me. Like, so yeah. I mean,
I think it's also like a sense of him failing his his family, like he, because that's his brother's and his brother's daughter that was killed, that he found like that. We don't see it, so we can only imagine.
Imagination. You're thinking rape, heavily, like, you don't know. You're thinking like all the bad things in your head and whatnot. And like you said, the daughter. So now it's one down, one to go. Now there's only one left. It's like, pressure, anxiousness, and we're not even 5 years in yet. We're like, I don't know. This is early
right
on,
away. Yeah.
So this is early.
He's like, he's basically, I think, like with John Wayne in that scene, his acting, it shows that he's a much better actor than I think a lot of people gave him credit for. Because most people, they only think of him in this stereotypical tough guy kind of way, but that's one of the moments where you see him give a really, really compelling performance. And I think it's because him being a dad himself in real life, any actor who's a parent in real life, if they are portraying a character like that where they have a family member or like a child that is taken from them, all they can base their performance on is like, what if this really happened to me? How would I react? And so they try to find uh that little part of the performance. Oh, sorry, my camera's going out.
That was the best one.
You asked for it, man. You asked for it.
No, it's good. It's good. Sorry.
But yeah, I think it's like with Liam Neeson and Taken. Obviously, if something like that were to happen to your kid, how would you react to that? And so it's like
measures.
Yeah. So you see John Wayne in that scene, and it just sticks with you because you feel the emotion in his voice. You see it in his eyes and how he's trying not to, he's trying to hold back the tears as best as possible. You see regret. You see a sense of, of failure and like helplessness, and he does it in few words. It's all just expressions in his face.
Well, you know what? I've never seen an actor's eyes that swollen before either. I mean, they were really swollen, like he's been weeping. And I don't know how they did that. It looked really good. I've never seen that. And I mean, I've seen so many great crying scenes, but that was really standout. And it makes it memorable. You know what I mean? Like finally he breaks a bit, and it's pretty devastating. I think you guys totally figured that out very well.
And you feel the anger, and you see the anger, and he takes the anger partially out on Martin the whole time they're together. I mean, sucks to suck, Martin, but that's how that's just what it is. It reminded me too. Where was Martin was gone that night? That night. Where was he again? I'm drawing a brain fart.
Was he there?
No,
yeah,
he wasn't.
He was. Yeah, he was there.
He was there. Why did he die? No, I don't think he was there. No, he wasn't there. He wasn't there that night that everyone died in the beginning.
Oh,
he
yeah,
definitely wasn't.
Right.
There.
Oh no! Yeah, that's right.
Where was he? Talking about the scene where he was breaking down.
Oh no, yeah. I think he was at the girl Lori's house. Is that maybe where he was?
No, in the beginning. In the beginning, he was with John Wayne, and they were on their expedition.
That's right. They're on the expedition. That's right. My bad. I'm drawing a brain fart. Where was he?
He tries to ride back ahead of him, but like
and the horse dies.
He's carrying his saddle and everything.
Yeah.
And that shows you how clever John Wayne was. He chilled. He chilled, and he let the horse breathe, and cooled him off.
Yeah, but what kind of feeling would that be? You know that the trap was set, and then he's just like, the horses won't make it. We got to, get them water and grain, and sit there and wait. When you know what's probably going on, that would have been a horrible.
It seemed like Ethan was cold, and Martin, but Ethan just was maybe a realist. He just knew the reality of it. But let's continue on. Yeah.
How would you guys describe Ethan and Martin's partnership and dynamic of this movie? I think it's definitely pretty interesting.
Well, they butt heads alive. It's quite funny to see.
Well, Martin is another example of his hatred towards Native Americans, because Martin is part Cheyenne.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So he throws that at him quite a bit. And...
Yeah, he doesn't think of him as really part of the family. Even though he's adopted, and so like literally when we're introduced to Martin, he comes riding in on a horse bareback and jumps off of it, very similar to how Native Americans used to ride their horses. And when he walks in, John Wayne says to him, "Fellow could mistake you for a half-breed." And he says, "Well, not quite. I'm 1/8 Cheyenne. The rest is like Irish and English." So they tell me. So it's like even he doesn't really know where he comes from, because like he's an orphan. You find out that Ethan found him when he was a kid, and brought him to live with them, but he still doesn't really see it as special. He says it just happened to be me. No need to make more of it.
Yeah.
Well, you got the two sides of the bell curve here. You got the man that's been like put through whatever you could horribly think of in war and life and being away from his family, and then the younger kid that's still having fun, like him coming in and jumping off the horse. He was happy to come in and see everybody, and hasn't faced a lot of those hardships before. So you kind of got the big dynamic between the two of those, and maybe that's why John Wayne's harder on him. Maybe he sees a little of himself being young and stupid, kind of back then, but then just knowing what he could face in the future, and maybe also not wanting to get too close to him too. And
that's crazy. That's the same character. Like I remember that well when he just rides in there. I mean, he's so theatrical and happy. Mm-hmm. It's like such a different character here once he's on this quest. Like I didn't know those were the same dudes.
Yeah.
But it's like you do kind of see him sort of gain a little bit more respect for him as the story progresses. Like he literally says he's going to leave everything he owns to Martin, just because he feels like there's really no one else to give it to at this point. Because by then they found Debbie, and she's older. She's been living with the chief, and so he feels like my family's basically all gone. So I'm just whatever I have, I'm going to leave it to this kid, even though I never really treated him like family. He's stuck with me this long, so I'll give it to him just because I can't think of anybody else, and also he's put up with me. So I think that's why.
They also have like two different, they're very different characters, I mean, and with totally different ideals. I think it's kind of funny because I feel like with their quest, Ethan, he's more so on a quest for vengeance with a hint of rescue. Well, I feel like Martin is sort of the opposite. Like his quest is for the rescue entirely with maybe just a hint of vengeance. And, Ethan doesn't really have much of a moral compass. He's pretty merciless, and obviously Martin he's got a heart, and he doesn't like seeing this vengeful spirit in Ethan. And, those are pretty striking differences between the characters. And, this is such a dangerous track, and, their ulterior motives can, complicate things for each other. Makes for a rough situation.
One of them has more miles under their feet and have seen a lot more things, and right, wrong, or otherwise. It probably changed his outlook, how he was approaching it. So, yeah.
How do you guys feel that this movie cleverly interweaved comedic elements into the film without derailing the momentum?
Like I said earlier, just like the arguments between these two guys, specifically just one of the fight scenes. I'm not going to get into it because that's later in the film, but it's that clever little fight scene. Like, who brought up that movie scene where they went to the pub and the guy had a beer and then fought afterwards? Yeah. They almost did something similar to that. They they were helping each other out, like taking this guy's jacket off to get him more loose to fight.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that was quite clever, and it didn't, it wasn't too cheesy, it wasn't too corny, added that comedic part to the
relief.
movie. Relief.
But also like the awkwardness between Martin and Lori, Vera Allen, because it's pretty obvious to anyone else that she really likes him, but he's just so oblivious for the most part. I mean, you kind of there's moments where you kind of think maybe he does see that she likes him, but he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to take that and run with it. But at the same time, he's more concerned about finding his sister and bringing her home. That takes priority over getting married to Lori, and because it's like he's like, if I just I got this great girl who really likes me, and I want to marry her, but if I just go with that, then I forget my sister who's probably still out there, and I got to find her.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's made up his mind. He's like, like, I like you. I think he realizes that he likes her, but it's like, no matter what you do, what you say, it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna go back out and find her. I think it just kind of made up his mind, and it's like, I hope you wait for me, but if you don't, cool, I guess. And then he came back. Yeah, but you mentioned the fight scene and whatnot, and she was ironically getting married. Yeah.
Yeah. And also you got characters like Mose, the guy who's always crazy, saying all kinds of stuff, weird stuff. I've been baptized, Reverend. I've been
Dope,
He's
baptized.
great. John Wayne's kind of like Adam Sandler. He brings a lot of the same actors and actresses back and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And Ward Bond as the Reverend, he also provides a certain kind of comedy as well. Like very bombastic kind of comedy, but also a sense of authority, moral code, and everything like that. Like in many ways, he's also been through the same kind of mess that Ethan has been because he's also a veteran of the war, but he's a guy who's chosen to put it behind him through his faith in God, his relationship with God, and also being a leader for the people in this community, because they don't really have anybody else but him. So that's why he's also part of the Texas Rangers. He's a lawman with a moral code of honor.
Well, you guys just mentioned Lori, and I'm glad you did. I was thinking about talking about her a little later, but her story is pretty interesting. We talk about a lot of female characters in these movies, and you know what? Older movies, they did it right. They made them likable. They made them relatable, understandable, and reasonable. And she's all those things, and she's fun and kind of inspiring. Her character, it's funny because I don't think I've ever seen a more patient female character in anything. I mean, she has been waiting around for Martin ever since she was a little girl. She thought that they were steady ever since she was a little girl. I mean, she hasn't been out with any other guys because she's been waiting for this guy, right? Wow. I mean, that's crazy. That's unheard of now. And I just thought she was very intriguing. What did you guys think of her character? What was intriguing, fascinating? What did you take from her character in this?
Yeah, I thought she was great. I but they live in the middle of nowhere, and what you kind of it's hilarious. But the fact that she waited him for years, I had that same issue where I like girls, but at the same time, when I get to a training camp and I'm 8-10 weeks, I know for a fact I don't want to go out on a Friday night or go do this. I don't want you over here hanging out. I'm gotta go to bed, so I gotta wake up. I gotta spar. I might ghost you for 8-10 weeks. I got stuff to do, and that stuff is not hanging out, entertaining you. It's training for war, and I can't get girls to be okay, which is understandable. I get it like that, but she, it's 8-10 weeks. She did this for years, and then she finally getting married. But even then, she got married the day. She's like, okay, never mind, I'm good.
Finally she breaks.
Yeah,
5 years later.
She's a little bit of a firecracker too, though. She's got a little fire to her, a little spunk. She gives it back to him from time to time throughout the movie, I think.
She definitely
she didn't take any shit from anyone.
Yeah, she holds her own very well. But of course, you also see the frustrations that she's going through, which is also kind of it contributes to the comedy aspect of it. Like when she's reading the letter and he tells her about the Indian wife he's taken
I found myself with a wife or whatever. It was like, what?
And then he's like, and then the letter says, she wasn't nearly as old as you are.
Yeah,
like,
come on.
How old do you think I am?
How old is she?
That's the worst thing you could possibly write.
Yeah, it just goes to show you how completely
he's totally clueless.
He's naive. He's naive.
I was thinking maybe back then that meant something positive, but I don't think so.
Also,
the 50s.
It goes to show text messages people can read in a different way. That's why I never like text. I like a phone call or a voice message in modern day too. But people can interpret writing differently than the way you intended it to be interpreted.
Sidetrack just real quick, but if you ever have never seen the Key and Peele skit with the text messaging,
I've seen it. Yeah, that's funny.
But it's exactly what you're saying, where it's just like, I don't know, we can go right now. It's like, oh yeah, we'll go right now. Just how differently it can come off when you read it. So, but anyway, sorry, that made me think.
Really, really quickly though, I'm just looking at the scene right now in absolute awe. It looks like a painting we're looking at right now.
Look at that.
This is going to sound really embarrassing. I have Superman Legacy on in the background right now. Dude, I've watched the movie 5 times today. I'm so ashamed to say that. But
why?
Because I don't know. I've fallen in love with it. That's for another story.
Superman Legacy. You're not talking about the new one.
The new one.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's what it was originally called.
Oh,
I didn't know that's what it was called.
Get out.
I'm not on trial right now, but the point is, I'm
That's
looking
my
back
boy,
at
Joe.
it, and the scene, it's so dark. You can't see anything. There's shadows everywhere. It looks grimy. It's like, and then I look at this thing. She looks like a porcelain thing. Like, what was the money like? Like, it was just shot on film though. But what is the equivalent of that today? You said like IMAX. So
yeah,
is it more expensive to shoot it on film today rather than digital?
But
like,
there was a coloring process they had to do with it. So it wasn't like, so I think it was, and this is where I could be wrong and people can be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But I think it pretty much was filmed in black and white, but they go back and color it.
I don't know how that's
back in the
possible.
day.
No, it just looks so perfect.
I think there's some black and white footage of this where it's like, anyway, either way, whatever technique they used to get this on that actual film, it's very different than what is today. And the colors just pop differently.
I think it was something to do with like the crystals inside the, that they had, there was like a crystal element inside the film when it gets exposed to light. This new kind of film is what gave it the color, the Technicolor part of it. Because in old days, they would paint it like frame by frame and stuff like that. That's not this, because it wouldn't look.
I'm not saying
it's
that, but I thought there was like a dyeing process that they put it through or something like that. But
I think there may have been, but mainly it started off with like there's some kind of like crystal part of, I don't know if it's not in the camera, but I think it's in the film somehow.
Weird.
Based on how it's I vaguely remember something like that when I went to film school, but it's like the light comes through a certain lens and it causes the film to reflect that light and the coloring and everything like that. It's a very different process than what you get with digital, obviously. And they did still have to render the film later on to because otherwise it would still look pretty grimy.
So okay, just real quick, and then I'll be quiet. And then I want Joe. I need you to say something. I promise. I'm gonna shut up, and I want to hear Joe talk. Here.
We don't want you to shut up.
But I just was googling. It says The Searchers from 1956 was filmed on East Manacolor negative film, which was then processed using a Technicolor dye transfer method.
Okay.
The process involved exposing 3 separate black and white film strips sensitive to red, green, and blue light to create 3 corresponding color dye matrix. Wow. These matrices were then printed on top of each other to produce the final richly saturated color.
That's an insane process.
Like,
imagine if you sneezed while putting the dyes in the entire thing. But jumping on what Emperor Goodwin was saying, he said, when we knew how to write properly strong women, it's a complete lost art. I feel like we say this almost every stream. It's like, movies back then, they actually cared. They didn't write women as just girl bosses, that wasn't filled with thousands and Zendayas. They were actually just good at this.
Yeah. You know how neat that would be if they used the same cameras like in a newer film?
Mm-hmm.
And
why not?
You see modern day actors like, maybe Leonardo DiCaprio in in an old Western with this like quality. That would be so cool.
To that, I will say this though. I saw a meme online. I have no idea how true it is though. It's someone saying that their uncle works for DreamWorks and they're making the new Shrek movie. And the question was, how come it looks different than the original? And his comment was, they literally said they don't know how to do it again. In term like how they used to make Shrek look. So what Luke said, if they were to do it today, they would have no idea. It's like me trying to program, I don't know, a satellite. I have no idea.
They would butcher it. Yeah.
You're
right.
Who's alive in the film industry to know how to do this stuff anymore?
Yeah, you got to find like some guys who are still alive somewhere.
Clint Eastwood.
Would you trust Spielberg to do this stuff today?
No, we will never trust him again.
Oh, come on now.
Don't watch Disclosure Day, Jordan.
I was gonna say, Kyle, where are you? Jump in.
He's gotten too used to digital, I think, at this point. With Janusz Kaminski, the director of photography, he's been working with the last almost 20 years now. So I think he's kind of put film behind him.
He's gone out for lunch. That's what I say. Real quick,
Jackson,
one last.
I heard you. I heard about that. I'm not gonna watch that.
No, don't. It's a 0, bro. It's a 0.
And Odyssey. I won't be watching that either.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
no Odyssey,
I have to
no
give that one a
Disclosure
shot.
Day.
I have to give that one a shot before I.
Christopher Nolan's overrated. Sorry.
I'm waiting
Mic
for
drop.
streaming. I'm not running
Mic
the theaters
drop.
anymore.
Next part, because we start talking about that. We're never...
Yes, I know. Mic drop. That's it. You can talk about that some other day.
Yeah.
Real quick, just a general question I have, because John Wayne, you know, he's like this ultra masculine character, but you know, he has like strange things going for him that shouldn't exactly physically make him that way. He's an older man a lot of the time, and he has this very casual build, but you know, he has a lot of swagger when he walks around, the way he talks. And I'm kind of wondering, why is he, or how is he able to deliver these really strong male performances and just exude this masculine way about him without having all of these physical qualities that are, you know, usually the case for strong masculine men?
Well, I'll say real quick. I mean, also back then, was there really buff actors? Not really, not like today. I mean, if there was maybe lean and fit actors, I can maybe think of with some muscles showing, but nothing like buff and big. I think just him being 6'4", 6'5", which is way big back then, and his presence, the way he just, his voice, his presence around people, you know, how to control a room and whatnot. People just like gravitated towards him and whatnot. It wasn't like, and yeah, a lot of his roles were, you know, ones I mentioned, like Big Jason. I mean, those are the 60s and the 70s. I mean, by then he's already fifth. I mean, this movie's this movie's maybe in his 40s, but yeah, he's a lot of his movies he made, the Cowboys, he's in his 60s, entering 70s and whatnot. I think he hit a niche. You know, some actors hit a niche when they age. You know, look at Morgan Freeman. He didn't come around until he was like 50, and some of his best roles. Also, some actors and actresses hit a niche at a certain age or certain body type or whatnot, and they find all these roles that hits them. So I mean, I just think his height, his structure, his presence, his voice, he can just command a room, and I think it was just natural to him. I think it was just natural.
Well, and I think you said this earlier too. 6'4" back then is like probably like, you know, like that's a lot taller today. Like
enormous.
You just didn't see people probably with that size and that frame.
Exactly.
And he had that deep voice and yeah.
And also,
there was no Jack Reacher back then.
No.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like he actually gave some advice to Michael Caine years ago when Michael Caine first started out. Like, I remember seeing this interview with him on Graham Norton's show where he said how when Michael Caine was coming to the States to do his first film, he was put up by the studio in the Beverly Hills Hotel for a whole week. Had nothing to do, was waiting there until they told him to come into the studio. So he spent the whole week just sitting in the lobby trying to spot celebrities. And one day, this helicopter lands outside of the hotel, and in walks John Wayne. Wow. He comes up, he says he goes up to the register, and he looks around the lobby and spots Michael Caine, walks up to him and says, "Hey, aren't you the kid from that Alfie movie?" He's like, "Yes, sir, I am. I saw that, kid. You're going to be a star. I'm going to give you some advice, okay? Walk slow and talk, he's like, walk slow and talk low, and don't say too much bull crap." And he said, and the third thing is, "You got any suede shoes?" "Yes, sir, I do." "Get rid of them. Don't ever wear suede shoes." And he says, "Why is that, sir?" "Because, kid, I told you you're going to be a star. And one day you're going to be in the gentleman's bathroom taking a pee, and you're going to be standing up there, and the guy next to you is going to be like, 'You're Michael Caine.'" Get it?
Nice.
He's going to pee all over your shoes. Yeah. It's like, even when he was doing the Cowboys, they told a story about how they stopped at a local restaurant, and John Wayne went into the bathroom, comes back with a big piss stain on the side of his pants.
Oh,
he says, "I'm used to it at this point."
Man,
somebody recognized me.
got too excited.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, that's a good story. Nice.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I think he just like what's funny is, you have these characters in here, the Rangers, and their confidence and their power and the way they're able to, sort of take command over a situation is based on their position in like law enforcement or whatever, being a ranger, right? Using the law as their strength. But John Wayne, he doesn't have any position of power. The position of power is himself and just his belief in himself and the fact that he don't give an F about anything. And I think like that's such a strong quality to have. And when he speaks and when he says something, he's going to do it. He'll do it his way. And his choices are probably the best choices that can be made in that moment, even though he makes some, kind of morally gray choices that aren't the best. You just kind of get that feeling that, he knows what he's doing because of that confidence in his voice. So yeah, definitely a lot to respect about him. Mm-hmm. Let's go on over here to the chat real quick, and then we'll get to the next chapter. Let's see. Emperor Goodwin, there's nothing that will cause a man to choke up a bit like see a strong, stoic man let his grief seep out. If you've ever heard a man's voice break while speaking at a funeral, that's true. Yeah.
That's one thing I always think of is the first time I ever saw my dad cry, I think was at my uncle's funeral, and when I was a kid. And that, so I'll 100% agree with that statement right there.
Yeah. Oh, our friend LJ Films and Gaming. Howdy. Hope you're well. Thanks, LJ. Good seeing you, man. Always good having you on here. Proctfall says, Joe, blink twice if you need help. Stop watching Superman. It's terrible. Jordan, don't watch the new Superman. You'll want to gouge your eyes out.
You have to watch it 5 times, then it'll grow on you.
No.
It's the most inspiring Superman yet.
Oh wait, no, you had me for a little bit, but then you lost me with that.
Oh,
I'm joking, Joe. I'm joking, Joe.
It's like they totally take Lex Luthor and they make him an even bigger idiot, and it's like he's supposed to be the most smartest supervillain in the DC comics, and it's like his girlfriend is taking selfies while he's doing all these acts of terror, and he's letting it happen. Lex Luthor would have just shot her right there. That's
You see, he's only explaining the bad parts of the movie. It gets a lot better towards.
No, it doesn't. It never gets better.
It's so many bad parts.
It's too many. It's too many.
I think the fan fiction in my head is better than what I'm actually watching, so that's why I'm enjoying it.
You must be fast forwarding through a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm watching
that's
the
what
whole
you're
thing.
doing. You have to half watch. You can't.
I showed
actually
you the
sit
picture.
and
My
watch.
son was sitting in a high chair.
He doesn't know anything.
I know.
I also didn't like what they did with the Kents. They just made them a couple of dumb hillbillies who can't understand how to work a cell phone.
Oh gosh, it's terrible.
Brawler, my last stream on here. Can we watch Superman Legacy?
I don't think so. I'm not seeing
even
that
for
again.
me. My
Sorry,
last stream here.
We'll give you a good movie to watch for that. So Proctfall here before we move on to the next chapter, and I got your message, Jordan. Just so you know, Proctfall specializing in certain retro tech can give you a special edge nowadays. Yeah, be different, right? Why not? It'd be great. Everyone's going back. It's funny, Jordan, you're talking about your VCR. That's what a lot of young people now, we all want the VCR, CRT TV, the tapes. That's what I have behind me here. I just got a Toshiba 13-inch, a VHS CRT TV. And it's so funny watching it. It's like, it's an experience. You respect the movie more watching it in that format than I do my flat screen. It's strange.
I won't respect you until you get the TV without a remote control and you got to get up and turn the channel.
Oh, wow. Well, I do that most of the time.
I'm joking. I'm totally joking. But I'm a little bit on the older scale here, I think, on the panel. So
you grew up with antiques.
I was the remote control. My dad was like, turn it to channel 5.
The knob.
Yep, and then I had to go do it.
Or like
black and white.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pressing
prop the antenna.
The channel button on the side. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
There's so many stories I could tell, but I'm going to shut up now because I told you I was going to.
You're good. We don't want you to shut up, Wookie. We want you to talk. All right, on to the next chapter here. Yes, we do. So, chapter 3, the search spans years across the frontier. Ethan and Martin follow leads, including a fort where rescued captives are seen, but none is Debbie, who is the remaining family member yet to be found. Ethan's actions, they start to grow quite extreme. He starts massacring buffalo to starve the Comanches, and he's showing increasing instability. There's a glimpse of a teenage Debbie living as part of Chief Scar's band, which is, kind of a good sign and also a nightmare because this guy is, a serious threat. And at the same time, this starts to deepen Ethan's resolve to kill her rather than rescue her. And we have a very strange wrestling of concepts and thoughts on her and the future of her character because of that, because, his deep-rooted hate for Native Americans. So why do you think that it's a strange sequence here? Because, when he in this tent, it's revealed that she's one of them and that she's, pretty comfortable living with Scar's tribe. He afterwards, he reveals that, this is a really bad thing. He doesn't consider her part of the family. He's kind of interested in killing her. He doesn't even want her to be around. And that's a pretty insane concept, right? He's been on this trip for 5 years searching for her. He finally does. And because she's sort of become one with the Indians, she is now garbage. And that's just insane because of all the effort that's went into this. So why do you think that it was his hate for the Indians that superseded his love for his niece?
Well, I think it was he's accepted. I will just win by any means necessary. Killing the buffalo and whatnot. He's just winning by any means necessary. And I guess winning to him and the hate he has for the Native Americans so much is that if winning means I have to kill you so you don't become one of them because I hate him so much, then that's gonna win. Now, that's one thing I was gonna mention that I never fully got that. Did he really was it like that was the whole vibe? That's what Martin thought. Like that was like it was gonna end her if she was too far gone or whatnot. And then when he did get her and walk her back, that's what Martin thought she was gonna. That's what he was gonna do, and he didn't do it. It was so. Did he really wouldn't do that? But maybe he thought about it, and we actually saved her. He's like, nah, I can't. So I never really fully grasped. Like, was he really considering like ending her, or was that just he let Martin's think what he wanted to think?
Yeah.
I know this might be a stretch, but going along with that, it kind of reminded me of more modern movies where it's like a zombie or a outbreak type movie. It's like, did they turn too much? And do you have to stop it right there before they go all the way to that thing? And no, I was like, that's pretty dark.
That's an interesting thought. Yeah.
I was hoping it would go deeper than that to where his character was just beyond broken at that point. Because I was surprised that he was so in control of his own actions, and then after that, it was still more of a movie. I was kind of hoping that this would be the absolute breaking point, and then he would go off to be essentially the villain of this movie, to be killed at the end.
Oh, no way! You're tripping.
I mean,
Joe wanted
what's
to
wrong
go dark.
with you?
He wanted to
Ever
go
since
dark.
you started watching Superman, you've lost something, man.
You beat me to it.
I mean, you think about it, like even Lori later on says how that her mother would want Ethan to kill her. Like even they believe it so much that her own mother would think it better if she was dead than, basically being used, sexually by this Indian, because it's like, who knows? Maybe she even wanted him to do it at some point. Like there's no escape for me. I can't go back. It's either I live with these people or you just do it and kill me right now. Put me out of my misery.
That's how kidnapping happens. They bring you in, you're young. Now she was not like a baby young, but she was still young. It was probably terrifying at first. Maybe they treat her well and like it's good. And then years go by. I was my family now, and I know we're saying 5 years. It just feels so much longer. She looks. The actresses look so much older, but
developing years, right?
Yeah. So she just gives in. I guess the mindset was, well, if she's too far gone, her dead is better than her alive. That was, I guess, the ultimatum. He was like,
a handsome person in the chat was talking about Stockholm syndrome. So yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Was that you? Oh, it was you.
Of course it was me.
I was like, I didn't put anything in the chat. Sorry, I had to. Sorry.
But yeah,
That's a good dad joke. That's a good dad joke, though.
Yeah, it's like you see him in that moment where he takes out the gun, and he's just immediately decided in that second, and he's not gonna have a second thought about it. It's only because of Martin standing in his way, and then the Comanches show up that they have to get out of there. And
it would have been something if Martin killed Ethan to then save. Like
I thought that could have happened.
Like that could have happened. I could see a way how that happened. Like, yeah.
I just feel like that was such a big moment that it's kind of hard to just, okay, we're just gonna put down our guns and just move on to the next scene afterwards.
Yeah, how do you get over that?
That's
so
what
fast?
I'm saying. Like, I thought he was just gonna be.
Well,
just
he did get
gone.
injured, right? Because isn't that when he got shot with the arrow?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But I understand what you're saying though, and then they kind of move on from that. But yeah, I think that kind of maybe cooled it down a little bit where he gets wounded and doesn't quite have as much fight in him, I guess, at that particular
Speaking of that, though, there was a guy when they were crossing the river that was injured, and someone handed him a Bible and said, "Don't worry, Sonny, this will keep you safe."
The Reverend.
Like, what was he shot or arrowed?
I think he was trampled. I think that's what Ty said, and he was watching it with me.
I remember the scene with him handing that to him, but I can't remember what happened.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, like, can you help patch me up first?
I don't think any of those guys were qualified to patch anyone up.
Yeah,
you can put a pressure on it. Listen, if we're all together and I get shot, put some pressure on it first.
Yeah.
Hell, they probably didn't even know that back then.
They probably didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. 50s.
Hey, just
Or
wrap it
this
with
is
them, wrap it with a bandana, and you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Just throw some mud in it.
Some mud, some dirt.
Yeah,
gosh.
they didn't because they weren't very educated back then. Most of them probably couldn't even read. They all they knew was like farming the land and hunting, getting water, building fires.
Well, I mean, that's kind of smart back then. They were able to survive.
Yeah.
But it's like
Some people couldn't.
You were in
That's
desert,
an interesting
survived.
statement. I had a whole conversation with someone recently about this. Like, what is educated? And it made me think, what is being able to read and write educated? Is fixing this educated? Is being a PhD educated? What is being educated? Now, it's a whole different topic. Just a food for thought for like, I had a whole conversation with someone like, what is educating? So, okay, what is educated? Do I have to know this, right? Like, what is actually being educated to
your environment and your situation can determine who's educated.
I was talking to someone about raising kids. I think that's how it came over, like raising kids, public school, private school, homeschooling. What is educated? I think we're going off
but if they're out there in the middle of the desert, they're out and it looks like western, southwestern Texas. I mean, like learning or being able to get water and food is going to be more education that you'd want to have than reading, kind of a thing. So I think that's where your environment can determine what educated is at that moment.
But we should move on because if you start talking,
we're gonna let's break down the education system in America. Let's get into it. No, that's good. My next question, it has to do with the aging. Like, you just look at John Wayne here and look at how much older he is. I really this is a better example. I mean, look at him graying out. He just had this worn look to him. Same for Martin there. And I loved that. I thought that was a really clever way to passively show that, time has passed. And I'm glad they said 5 years because, it seemed like it was a lot longer.
But, it was the time, but also the road. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think it shows the tough journey, being on the road, all this stuff, the stretching. I think about the president always there was a picture of the president when I first starts the term, then he ends, all the gray hair and stuff, the stress. He's on the road, cold, sun, and I think it's part of that too.
On a saddle and sleeping on the ground for 5 years. I mean,
and the weather, you saw like all the snow and all that,
Probably.
How do you adapt to that?
I think he is insanely used to it. That after all those years, like sleeping on a rock is just like the perfect place for him.
That was just normal.
Maybe he's even after all those years, probably that's like your safe place too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys notice anything about the characters? Like, do you feel like they changed in any significant way? Like from the beginning of that journey to the end of the 5 years?
I think Martin started standing up more to his character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he was like totally, but like as the movie went on, he spoke up and stood up, and even that scene we were just talking about, him standing in the way when he pulls his pistol out, standing in the way of that and saying no. I think he grew his spine a little bit more, you know. Through
Yeah,
that.
he goes from being a boy to being more of a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, that's definitely fair. I felt like Ethan's vengeance grew too. You know, I felt like that's when we started to see him a little more erratic. You know, I think he was sort of losing his constitution a little bit over time.
Yeah.
Because he seemed to be pretty
Whatever
like,
little constitution he had left to begin with. Yeah.
But I think just the tired and frustration. I mean, that's just compounded over 5 years. That probably if he was already at that point to begin with, that doesn't help the situation out.
Kind of makes you think of like Captain Ahab and Moby Dick, like so obsessed with this one goal, you know, which is to kill something, you know, and it's like anything else afterwards just is completely pointless. You know, that's the one thing that's given him meaning at this point, is trying to find his niece, and then of course just killing her when he finds her. That's the one thing he has left and to live for at this point. And but like you see him becoming much more bitter and borderline psychopathic. Yeah. And it's kind of you feel,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
5 years on the road, like, geez, that's rough. Jordan, I know you got to get running. I just want to say it was great having you on, man. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
No, it's a pleasure being here. I'm sorry I drove my parents to the airport, and so I
it's
gotta
all
drive
good.
down to Houston. But
it's great to meet you.
Great chat, great meeting you guys. Great chatting with you guys. Great chatting with you guys again. The guys I have chatted with. I want to leave you with this, because I'm gonna miss it. It's just the ending when you guys get there. What a great ending! One of the best endings. Him walking away, holding the arm. The music is great. And then food for thought. What's he do now? Like, he came from the Civil War. He's a lost man. Went to this, and then this ends. What do you do now? I mean, where's a man go after that? I mean, that's a whole nother topic you guys can discuss without me, unfortunately. But so I'm gonna leave you guys with that thought. But great ending. But great chatting, you guys. Look forward to the next one. Whatever, Jackson. Yeah.
Thanks, Jordan. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thanks for
All
joining.
Right.
You're awesome.
See you guys. Peace out.
Take care, bro.
See ya.
Hey, Jordan. Good seeing you again.
See you later, man.
All right, cool. There goes Jordan Panthan, the Patriot. That's cool. I had an interesting question. Another one. I have just so many interesting questions. I'm just kidding. Another one, sort of.
I was like, I'm waiting.
Nah. You know, so I think when Ethan and Martin, they meet Scar to trade, they see Debbie, right? And given I thought this was a really clever scene. And I've seen, I can't remember what exactly comes to mind, but I appreciate it when a movie feeds you a subtlety to reveal that a character that you're following is actually way smarter than you think. So in this situation here, you know, they've been looking for Debbie for 5 years. I can't imagine how frantic you are to just get it over with and save the girl, right? They get this opportunity here where she appears and she's right there, right in front of them. And the leader of the tribe is literally in the tent with them as well. And they don't step on it right then and there, because you see them here. And obviously once the two see her, they are obviously distraught, right? And they obviously have a lot of anxious emotions. They're breathing deeply. And what I love that he does is he decides to delay the meeting further. You know, take it to the next day. We don't need to do this. Hey, let's do this tomorrow after he sees that. He does that so tomorrow, and, you know, from today to tomorrow, he can collect himself and he can sit back and plan and plot, and he won't just do something irrationally because of how he feels. That's genius, right? And I think there's like a lot of moments like that in business where managers have to do that. I thought that this was just a great little moment. Did you guys see any other moments that stood out to you where he stepped up as like a wise figure, like a leader such as this?
I think just like you said with that moment, John Wayne reaches over and was like, calm, this is not the time.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that was some of his, like, you know, they maybe being in war and being in battles. He's like, we don't have the upper hand here. Like, wait, we know where she's at. She's alive. And we gotta like you said, regroup and get a strategy together. But.
Yeah.
Or like when he's arguing with the Reverend earlier in the film when they're trying to find them, and they're talking about riding in at night and trying to attack the Indians at night, but also trying to run off their ponies so they don't have a way to get out. And he tells them, "What do you guys know about how a Comanche sleeps with his horse right next to him? Tied to his legs." So it's like, you see, as much as he hates the Native Americans, he's studied up on their culture. He's studied up on how they do things. So that way, it's basically like knowing your enemies, so that way you know their weaknesses.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Fair enough. Yeah, Ian is brilliant. I do think
I am brilliant.
Hey. Nice. Let's all just validate each other. Oh gosh,
you guys are all brilliant too.
Here, let's get to. Oh, thanks, buddy. Let's get to some of these chats, then we'll move on to chapter 4. Thank you all for joining us as always. Kyle's got an encouraging message. Cheers to Luke. Next movie needs to be a coming of age romance in his honor. Congrats, Luke.
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle.
Coming of age romance. Maybe Bros? Bros would be good.
Oh, yes.
I'm just kidding. Bros. No, Bros. We're not watching that. Oh, gosh. Oh, Megan says, dang, it was a hot day today. This whole week is going to be brutal. Excited to see your LS with Kyle on Tuesday.
Live stream.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. That's what the kids say today.
Yeah, Jackson, you're so old all of a sudden.
LS. Yeah, I don't even. Is Megan one of the kids?
I think
you're
she's
watching
one of the
on a
kids.
VHS tape these days, too.
Gosh.
I'm pretty sure she's a lot younger than me, so I'll call her a kid.
I like this. Ember Goodwin says, Martin is in desperate need of advice on his game. Yeah, that's for sure. His lady game. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is respectable. Yeah, he says Martin's earned family status for Ethan. True. Oh, gosh. Let's see. Yeah, when we knew how to write properly, strong women. Yeah, been a while. Let's see. Practical says, I just received a downgrade for my cell phone. The new one I got is loaded with so much mandatory AI nonsense that I can't deal with. Wow. That's weird. Okay. Strange. Cool.
I'm not surprised. Everything's going to that these days. Like, you go on Amazon and you do a search and it has an AI search through it.
Well, you do that on Google. It tries to force you into the AI search on there too all the time. Yeah.
Weird. All right. Well,
at least with DuckDuckGo, I think you can turn it off.
Do we actually know if it's legit with it?
If it's what?
If they're actually allowing you to turn it off, or are they just secretly using it behind the scenes?
they still track everything.
Yeah, you must always use it. This is
if AI is not tracking you, somebody in the government is. We all know that.
That's for sure. So this isn't exactly a fitting image. This is from earlier. I love this picture. This is so cool. This really stood out to me early on in the movie. I love the gunplay in this. It's just so respectable. It just feels real and raw when these guys are shooting at each other.
Even before that, just the sleeves they have with the rifles looks awesome.
Yeah, the sheaths.
Yeah, like the way he just slings that off and goes to battle.
That was so cool.
Like, damn.
Yeah, he's a badass. But yeah, that's earlier. We're on chapter 4 now. So at this point in time, Ethan and Martin, they locate Scar's camp alongside the Rangers they abandoned years ago. A bounty had been growing on their tails, though, and Lori was very close to being wed herself. Rushing into the camp, Martin tries to protect Debbie while Ethan confronts Scar. The rescue unfolds violently, revealing Debbie's conflicted identity after years with the Comanches. Ethan's long-threatened impulse is subsided when he embraces his niece as one of his own. So finally, he's kind of had some resolve and he takes her in after all. So for me, in this movie, I felt like the Rangers sort of felt off. And I don't know if maybe you guys felt that way. They didn't really mesh well with John Wayne, obviously. But it just seemed like they were on a totally different, vibe. Like it was two totally different mindsets, and they really didn't go well together. I felt like they didn't even work very well together in the movie. And obviously here you are in the end, and they have to team up, and it works a lot better. Obviously in the very beginning of the movie, it was a failure and John Wayne went off on his own. But I just felt like at the end of the day, they just had this very weird vibe about them. Did you guys pick up on that with the Rangers being the Reverend and all of those guys, or is that just me?
No, I can see that. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really seem weird. I mean, yeah, they have different goals and different reasons for doing it. I mean, the Rangers are doing it out of sense of, upholding law and order, and protecting their community. But with Ethan, it's just much more personal. It's the vengeance that's driving him, not the sense of justice. Yeah, in a way, now that it just kind of came to my mind, it sort of feels like, like with Batman and Commissioner Gordon in a way, where you got two sides that are trying to achieve the same thing but for different reasons. One is, somebody who is trying to uphold the law officially, and the other one is someone who doesn't trust the law to get the job done. So they'd rather do it themselves, because of, at this point, it's like, just like with Batman, some people kind of think of his character as, borderline psychotic for what he's doing and just constantly fighting criminals on his own. Same thing here with Ethan. He's just so determined to see this through to the end. He doesn't care if he does it with the Rangers or with anybody else, or with just by himself, even if it means he ends up getting himself killed.
Fair. Yeah.
Good insight.
All right. There you go. I think you really revealed it there to me. I felt like probably because John Wayne is so authentic and it is very personal for him, and this is a family issue. And then you have them and they're sort of detached. They have their reasons and really they're not exciting reasons. They're boring. They're out of place. Unlike his, both of them, Martin and him, which are personal. That's my reason. Yeah. That's very, very well said.
And another thing's like that young soldier who comes in to deliver the message. That's actually John Wayne's son.
Oh, is it Brendan Wayne?
Patrick Wayne.
Okay,
that's his name. Brendan, I think is his. I think that's. I don't know if that's his son or his grandson.
Okay, that's probably his grandson. That would make sense. That's a shame. But no, I don't know much about this Patrick Wayne. I liked his character though. He was kind of fun.
Yeah, he wasn't really known for a lot of roles except for being in films that his dad was in. That was pretty much it. So unfortunately, nepotism didn't work out for him.
Didn't boost his career. I thought something that was kind of funny was something that was irritating about Debbie's character earlier. Not like early in the movie, about 70% of the way through the film, was she wouldn't leave. She wouldn't leave the camp. Like these guys went through this whole ordeal to get her out of there and she wouldn't leave. And now in this situation, she's totally cool with leaving. And I don't really get that. Why was she willing to leave Scar's tribe this time instead of last time? What do you think changed?
Well, I mean, you think about it, when they first find her, it's just the two of them, and they're not that far from Scar's camp. So basically, they're outnumbered, and she's telling them to just get out of there before they get killed. I think that's really what she's concerned about. I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, yeah, she has lived among them for so long that she's gotten used to it, or like she's basically given up and felt like, I'm never going to get out of here. But now that they're there, she knows what's going to happen to them, so she's just begging them to get as far away as possible before they get killed. But then at the end, when they rescue her, and now they actually have the Rangers to back them up, and plus, like, you see Scar walks in on her and Martin when he's trying to get her out, and Martin obviously has gotten pretty good with a gun that he kills him real fast. So now that one main threat that's been holding her hostage, which is Scar, is gone. So now it's like she feels free to go back home with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sums it up.
Yeah, it's about what I was going to say.
Ian keeps concluding these questions. It's like there's not enough to say. He's like, all right, There you go. There's the answer. That's cool.
We say he said himself. He's brilliant.
Hey, brilliant, brilliant.
You know it.
Point. Hey, it's good. No complaints.
Yeah.
What do you guys think changed Ethan's mind about Debbie? Was there someone in his life that like spoke the right words? Was he inspired by the family, Laurie's family? Was this sort of like just an internal struggle that he clenched? What went on there? Wilkie, do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think maybe it just kind of finally got down to that moment. Maybe he had that breaking point where the little bit of humanity came back out a little bit, and he's like, yes, this is that little girl that I knew all those years back, and let's get her back to the family, kind of a thing. I don't know. So
yeah,
don't have a great.
But also, like, you see him hold her up, like he did when she was a little girl, in the cabin. So it's like I guess he's trying to see if he can relive that moment and see that little girl that she was when she was young and innocent before she was kidnapped. And I guess in that moment he does see her, like that again. He's like, I can't do this to her, because also you think about it, she's older now. She probably looks a lot like like I said before, he and Martha might have been a couple when they were younger. So now that she's older and she's more of a young woman, he probably sees a little bit of her mother in her, and so he can't bring himself to kill her.
Something about this actress, I think she looks exactly like Samara Weaving, the girl from Ready or Not. That's the actress's name, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
she looks exactly like her. Come on, yes, she does.
Natalie
you don't
Wood?
see it? All right, that picture's not very
Natalie
good.
Wood.
This one, come on. I see it a little bit. Don't you see it?
Okay. I'm not going to say it looks anything like her, because earlier I was trying to say that the John Wayne looks like the actor from Happy Madison.
That was a terrible comparison.
Nothing like him.
Who does it look like?
him. That actor from all the Happy Madison films. I'll just
Like,
keep going. I'll find him real quick.
what's his face? Adam Sandler. It's like one of his dork buddies. He's also a writer.
Are you talking about you're not talking about Rob Schneider, are you?
No.
His name
Gosh.
is,
give me
Rob
that
Schneider
movie. Rob
looks like
Schneider
John
as this
Wayne.
role.
Alan Covert.
Who?
Alan Covert.
Alan Covert. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no. I'm
As
pretty
we
sure
all-
he's a writer.
As we all
involved.
Google at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Alan Cover.
All right, thank you, Rebel Rose.
But yeah,
she looks nothing like her. Hey, that's not cool. Yes, she does. You're tripping.
no, not really. I mean,
See, open your mind's eye, people. Open your mind's eye.
So if you want to do like the 6 degrees of seven, or Kevin Bacon or whatever, like a link, you can go watch different movies for Natalie Wood. Have you ever seen Rebel Without a Cause?
No.
Oh, with James Dean, her and James Dean.
Oh, she was in that.
Yeah.
Man,
I know
right.
she. Of course, every Christmas I watch her in A Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, she's in that.
Yeah, she's the little girl.
This girl?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's the love interest for James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause.
And she was also in the original West Side Story. She was Maria. So she's the better version of that character rather than Rachel Zegler.
Nice. The much better version. Oh gosh. With John Wayne, I feel like I've heard this before, but I'm not exactly sure how I would define it. But I've heard him considered as the working class hero. Would you say that's true? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And why? Okay, so what does that mean? First off, what do you think that means?
Kind of down to earth, like
hardworking, motivated.
Very much, like the everyman kind of feel. He doesn't feel like a fantasy like so many other leading men do. He feels like the kind of guy that you'd probably run into at a bar, or the kind of guy that you from work, or maybe your dad or your uncle, just like any kind of guy who is like a blue collar worker and stuff like that.
I mean, he had ranches and cattle, he like did all that, but so maybe you wouldn't think of him as being the in the highest luxury suits and cars going out for caviar or something, and champagne or something like that, but maybe being out at his ranch or something. But
yeah, he wasn't a very bougie kind of guy.
nah.
And you know what? He's very like, he looks like a normal dude too. He's not like overly handsome or anything like that. He's got the rugged masculinity that I think most masculine men have. It's not like the big, bold masculinity, being giant, being ultra muscular. And he's got this worn look to him where you can tell he's been through some tough experiences. And that's just the actor, right? He's just got that look. And you know what's funny? It's like none of the larger actors right now have that look at all. They don't have that at all. I can't think of anybody that's like in the picture now that just has this kind of jaded gaze, this jaded, worn face that isn't old and just looking jaded because they're old. Can you?
Well, one I could maybe throw out there. I'm not saying you're wrong, but one I'd throw out there is one I really enjoy is Mads Mikkelsen. I think he's got kind of that Ward Rugged kind of look to him.
Yes, but maybe I think the problem is that John Wayne did so many of these movies, but today the actors, they just have them jumping on from one thing to another. It's kind of hard to really establish, okay, this is your look now. This is the kind of things like someone like Chris Pratt, for instance. Okay, he's in comedies, he's in serious stuff. He's Garfield, he's Mario. They're throwing him everywhere. Like we don't have a John Wayne of today that could be like this rugged looking guy. That's like, okay, you know what you're going to expect out of him.
I mean, maybe somebody like maybe John Bernthal. He definitely kind of has a
close. Yeah, close. Are there any working class heroes in film today?
Oh, John Bernthal. Sorry, I had to look it up. I was like, who?
Would you? I mean, can you think of anyone?
No,
I was trying to think of them earlier.
I mean, you got like Reacher. You got
like Timothy Chalamet.
No, I mean like when I think of working class heroes too, I'm thinking of like people that are just inspired by somebody that's like the everyman, that isn't like this ultra special star. Like all these people, Timothy Chalamet's got this star look. He's clean, baby face, really well dressed.
He's baby face because he is a baby.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, that new Superman actor.
Oh,
well, how about this, Brawler? Forget about him as Superman, okay? Just think about him outside of that. He definitely comes across as like a very down to earth, everyday kind of person. I mean, he's very open about how much he likes stuff like Star Wars and geeky kind of stuff. So
Rebel says it here. Hollywood is prioritizing pretty boys.
Yeah,
that's so lame.
I mean, like even maybe Henry Cavill. I don't know if you think about him as
he just hasn't been like I don't think he's taken the hero role of someone that's like, grounded. And definitely not enough if he has, right? Like John Wayne. He's taken the grounded hero, relatable, understandable, real, so many times over.
Yeah.
There's no one today. There's
none. I think there's
going
none.
through my mind like, okay, well, sometimes someone might have a role and then it's like they'll go off to do 10 different other things. So
yeah. But like that's also a problem with the studios because now they prioritize more fantastical, spectacle kind of films rather than just everyday, old school action stuff like what you used to have with John Wayne or even like Steve McQueen, the like the Robert Duvalls and stuff like that. Those guys could play masculine everyday kind of heroes and sell it as feeling like, or even like Clint Eastwood, they play these guys that are not superpowered individuals. It's their will and their determination to defeat the bad guys that helps get them through the story. And even like they make mistakes, but they learn from those mistakes. So unfortunately now, because everything has to be so, like you said, clean and perfect, it's it takes away from that. Now it's like whenever they try to put those actors in something that's a little bit more everyday, all they see is, you know, like they're superhero characters. You know, like say you put Chris Hemsworth in some almost Death Wish like kind of film, all they're seeing is Thor.
What about Gyllenhaal? Jake Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, he was in Roadhouse.
Yeah. Definitely not someone new. Because I was gonna say, like, I could believe John Wayne as this role. I could believe him as just like an everyman role like that. I don't even believe Timothy Chalamet as a Knicks fan. Like, seeing him at the game when they won the championship and he's just busting a nut there, he's screaming at the cameras, like, I don't even believe you know basketball.
There's probably a lot of them that were on the court side seats that were
phonies with that. But it's like, I look at John Wayne, it's like, yes, I could believe you're a cattle rancher. I could believe you could play like the stoic father and things like that.
Well, I tell you what, Brawler, I really feel like you brushed off Mads Mikkelsen really easily on that one. I'm gonna come up with a couple movies for you to watch that maybe you have seen them, maybe you haven't. But if you're going into westerns, there's one called The Salvation that he's pretty good. A little revenge. If you're liking this one, it might be a modern day one that you would get along with. But anyway. I'm going to get off my man crush of Mads Mikkelsen, and we'll move on.
I mean, Mads is a pretty good actor. It's just that I feel, I'm saying, like, you know, he hasn't strung together enough big box office things.
So I'll agree with that.
Mads Mikkelsen. He was in Doctor Strange. You would know him as the bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's so many better ones too. I would throw out of. So I will completely agree with the box office thing. A lot of them are smaller or not as known, maybe in the U.S., like in the big box office. But a recent one that was a mystery movie I really liked. It's kind of quirky, a little off the wall a little bit, but Dust Bunny that he was in. But if you want to see the Western revenge type thing, The Salvation, I would say that's a pretty good one to go into. But he's done the gamut of some pretty good action and some pretty good dramatic.
Okay.
I'm going to sound really old right now, and I hate that. I think there's too many studios out there, and I think there's too many streaming sites that there are so many movies and shows that come out, and it's like, oh, this is on Apple Plus. I'm like, what the hell is Apple Plus? What's MGM Plus and everything?
Yeah, there's some weird ones, some niche ones.
What's it called? Yeah, Project Hail Mary. It's streaming on MGM Plus, and I'm like, what even is that?
You know what? I feel like there are a lot of great stories that are just being lost in all these streaming services that would typically go to the theater, right? Like you have all of these talented people and Netflix is hiring them for a project, and there's just so much garbage that they just keep spitting out. It gets lost and you don't even see it. So I just wish they would put all these in the theater and then maybe run them in the service.
Yeah,
because I feel like there's a lot of the small stories that we miss that are in the theaters that aren't these big fantastical pictures. I feel like they're happening, but they're just direct to streaming now, and that's just such a shame.
That just shows you the studios, just don't have any real faith in that kind of stuff anymore. That's why they'd rather do something that's colorful with a lot of CGI explosions and CGI characters, because I think, well, that's what kids want to see nowadays because they have short attention spans. That's why everything has to be so excessive and high speed and not enough time to breathe sometimes and let the characters grow and have genuine moments of character development, because it's like, unfortunately, social media has made young people that way. I mean, there's so many kids that I talk to, at my church, and I ask them, hey, are you excited for this film? And they're like, eh.
They don't even care about movies.
No, they don't. They care more about video games or I mean, it's mostly video games apparently that is the big seller now, more so than films outside of social media. Yeah,
I think games are great, but I mean, I don't think they're that good.
Yeah. Well, now it's like they're trying to make movies out of and TV shows out of video games, because it's like they've already kind of overplayed the superhero genre, and so now they're trying to find video games that they can turn into films. And apparently now I saw something like they're even looking at Reddit for short stories that they can turn into
Yep,
films.
they learned the exact wrong thing from Backrooms and Obsession.
Hey, I'm fine as long as they give us something creative and new and different. I'm all about it. I don't care where they get it from.
It's fair.
And if they can execute it and not make it political, then great. It sounds
But
awesome.
it's like-
I'm all
You
for
extra
it.
too much.
But it's like also there's so much great literature out there. I mean, even if it's like old literature that has been done before, I mean, you could do a great new version of something like Jekyll and Hyde, or you know, like Kidnapped or Ivanhoe. You know, if
Yeah,
you've
it's not
ever
like
heard-
these books have to be big books either. You can adapt any book.
Yeah,
I see it in my head now, a modern retelling of Jekyll and Hyde, and she's just a shy girl with glasses, and then she just turns
Yep.
into a twerking boss girl.
Boss
exactly.
girl. Nice.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, yeah, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be like. It doesn't have to be like
Hey, son.
over the top. It just has to be basic, good, good structured stories.
Before we move on to the last chapter of the film, which is the conclusion, very sad. Great movie. Loved it. I'm so glad we talked about it. It's been a great talk, guys. Let's get to some of these chats from our friends. Sin is here. Hello, Sin.
Hey, Sin.
This is a movie I've never seen.
Go watch it.
You can't watch everything, like you should definitely see it, but you just can't watch everything. You can't ridicule for anybody not watching something. There's just so much to watch.
Yeah. There's,
Oh yeah, no, I'll never like say, because I have a huge blind spots in my viewing.
I like what Rebels says here. They push these actors to be everything. John Wayne stuck to what he was best at for the most part, but he did branch out into other roles as long as the character was still that masculine ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's respectable. Kind of like Wilkie. A little bit. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to like.
Let us say it for you. See?
We'll
Yeah.
I'm joking. I am
Oh, no,
joking.
that's good. That's good.
Be like, man, this guy's stuck up.
Nah, nobody thinks that. Brock File, the last working class icon we had was probably Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how many movies Bruce Willis was in that
Oh,
didn't go to
gosh.
theaters?
A lot.
Nicolas
He's in a
Cage,
gargantuan
he's
one.
not really a hero, but
yeah, I do not like Nicolas
he's
Cage.
grounded. I don't know about hero. Nah, he's not a hero.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
He's
I
unique.
wouldn't
He-
say.
He
He's
is the
unique.
he is what we need now. Because watching Spider Noir, I cannot recall the last time I watched a TV show that was new and actually enjoyed it.
Man.
I'll say I'm only 2 episodes in and I'm digging it so far. I'll just say
He's
that.
so funny and it's silly where it needs to be, and it's a breath of fresh air, which is crazy to say in 2026.
And watch it in the black and white.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think you need to, because
No.
it's not
That's
made
what
for
the
black and
comic
white.
came
Of course
out
you
as.
watched it.
It's not made for black and white.
That's what the comic
You've
was.
lost it, World War Joe. You lost.
No,
it.
No,
Watch
but black back
Superman.
then when they did black and white, they would, I said one time, like, they paint the lips with like a blue tint because it shows off different in black and white. This is just a filter.
Oh boy.
We're gonna agree to disagree on that.
Yeah.
one. I'm just
I mean,
joking.
We need to do a
Nice.
simulcast stream of it
I
and
want
watch it.
war.
Watch them side by side.
Yes.
Oh gosh. All right. A Park File wouldn't normally promote my own stuff, but Kyle and I recently gave each other a movie recommendation, and next week we'll be discussing them. It'll be fun. I got him to watch anime. Oh, cool. Yeah, be sure to
Yeah.
now. Park File's got a YouTube channel, everybody. So be sure to give him a sub.
Yeah.
And his name is just Park File. So there you go.
I'm doing it now.
I'm glad he's on YouTube. Great, awesome. Well, let's move on over to the last chapter, everybody. It's about to get pretty dramatic here.
Dun, dun, dun.
We'll just go with classic John Wayne as the concluding picture here. So it's chapter 5. With Debbie rescued, the group returns to civilization. Ethan brings her home, and Martin is reunited with his soon-to-be wife, Lori. It's a happy ever after, but we are left wondering what's next for Ethan. And, Jordan mentioned that earlier, and he's totally right. Like, what is next for Ethan after this? Because it just seems like he doesn't have it is a satisfying end to this conflict, but it's not the end to his story because he's not settling down here. He is still outside the door and he's walking out into the next adventure. Is there another film of his that kind of like branches off of this by chance, or
No.
is there a continuation? I don't think there is.
So.
No, there isn't.
There isn't. Okay. Well, what do you guys think would be next for him? Just theory.
He just walks the world and just solves problems. It's just like that show Reacher. He's just gonna walk. Okay, season's over. I'm gonna walk down the highway until something else happens. Because I think we had this exact same talk with what was it, Platoon, where I was asking the bad guys that if he was to survive and go home, would he be able to have a normal life? And no, he wouldn't. Like John, his character in this, he's not gonna just settle down. Make a new family? No, he's just gonna keep going out there and solving problems and keeping the fight.
Purpose.
Yeah. Because how do you turn that off?
It's kind of like the end of what's that movie with? It's kind of like it was inspired by, or Mortal Kombat was inspired by it. We watched it. It was like about a year ago. We did a review on it.
Oh, Bloodsport?
China? No.
Oh, Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, it was like the end of that. Like he turned down the girl, then he went on his way in the truck, and he was obviously up to something. And
true.
On to his next.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't make a sequel to that. I hope they don't.
Give it time, they will.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Or they'll just reboot it. I mean, like they're rebooting Escape from New York right now.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, no,
it's only insane if it doesn't do well.
I mean, we'll see how
that's
it goes.
True. No, that's true.
Just
I don't think it'll do well.
I mean, we like we said before, like Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man. Who on their right mind would think that would be a good idea?
Well, that's a good. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. It's Spider Noir. I mean, it's different. It's something new.
It's one of those where it can go either the worst thing you've ever seen, or it could be the greatest thing you've ever seen. There's no middle ground.
But I agree with Joe. I think that was a stretch. I think it paid off, but I think it was a stretch to go with him for that. Yeah,
it was very risky. It's a very expensive project.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like,
it's something, finally something original and different for superheroes, though, right? I mean, who saw that coming? That was a great surprise.
Yeah.
I felt like the hype. I don't think it really satisfied me, though. I couldn't even finish it. I thought it was good, but I have a bad time with shows. I'm bad with shows. I couldn't finish it. So yeah, maybe that's
a lot. It's a lot of episodes. So
yeah. What did you guys think of this conclusion, though? This final shot where everything just happens so smoothly. It's like a 20-second shot after he saves the girl, and everything just happens all in one moment. He's walking, and you see Martin and the girl, and they're happy. They walk to the side, and all these things sort of just happen so passively, and the door shuts in front of you. It's not like this big ceremonial gesture. It's not like a strong send-off for him. It's like on to the next adventure. And it's just so many feelings, and I feel like so many ends were tied in this one moment so beautifully. What made it so effective to you guys?
Even though it rolled to credits, like we were just saying, it's not the end. It's the movie's gonna end, but that his mission's not over. His purpose, he still has a purpose, and he still, so it leaves you with just your imagination, and that can take you as far as you can go.
Is it bad that I wanted him to die at the end?
Yeah, it is.
Just because
just get shot and then it rolls.
What's wrong with you, man? This is John Wayne.
I want the ending to these people's stories. I don't want it to be ambiguous. Like Logan had a great ending to it, where it's like, okay, we're just gonna kill him off at the end of it. Like, I don't want him just to go off into the sunset. I want him to either settle down, have the family, or just die or something. I don't know, die heroically.
Before the door shuts, you just see a herd of bulls just run him over.
Yeah, the rest of the buffalo herd comes back and tramples him. He was shooting all up earlier in the movie.
It's like the end of Piranha when that giant piranha just eats all the.
They're like, "That's the guy."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think what it is just the I mean, like you got the song playing in the background, which is basically talking about, you know, a man who just is destined to roam around, to never, have have one place that he can call home. He's isolated, and he's always going to be wandering from one other place to the next till the day he dies. And that you see that with Ethan here, like it's like for a second he's about to follow them in, but he doesn't, because I think he just feels ashamed of himself about what he almost did. Feels like he doesn't deserve this now. So, he's basically left to wander the world, for the rest of his life. Who knows what he'll do? Maybe he'll go off and find gold in California. Maybe he'll become an outlaw. Maybe he'll become a Texas Ranger himself or something like that. Find some kind of purpose, but it won't be to have a family, unless he does meet some other woman that actually convinces him to stop letting this define him. But until then, this is what we're left with.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know. I'm glad it ended this way. I don't want him to die. I thought, you know what? I wish we would have gotten a sequel to this and just see another adventure from his character, because he's been through so much in this movie. That could have been great. What's funny is watching this movie at the end, I remember when I was at the flea market, this guy, I passed him a few times, and he has this John Wayne collection of tapes. And I always thought, like, I've seen so many John Wayne VHS tapes. I've just considered them I'm not interested. But now after watching this, I want the collection. I want the collection now. I want them, and I hope they're there next time I go, because I'm dying to play them on my CRT TV. That'll be sweet.
You'll love him. So many of his films are iconic. And of course, the one film I haven't watched, and I don't know if I want to watch, is the one where he plays Genghis Khan.
Oh, yeah. Come on, that's got to be great.
What is that called?
I don't know. I don't know the name.
I've never actually watched
that. Sounds
that
hilarious.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've just seen footage of him with the long, thin mustache.
How does that happen?
Oh man, it was so normal back then. There was even a movie where Marlon Brando played a Japanese guy.
It's called The Conqueror, but bro, there was a James Bond movie. What was it called? Where you only live twice or something like that?
Twice.
Where he fakes his death, and then they put a Bruce Lee wig on him and tape his eyebrows back. And it's like, you're Chinese now.
Oh god,
it's like Japanese.
Yeah, they didn't know the difference back then.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
To conclude, what do you guys think makes this movie a timeless classic? Why do you think this is his most famous film too? Because when you look it up, I've looked it up multiple sources. This is always number one
because of the history.
Yeah, I mean, you got him and John Ford going together. I mean, there's two. Ford's known for his epic westerns, and a lot of the shots that we talked about with this, it's that cinematography. Like setting up the shots and the. Anyway, there's two big names putting out a big movie together. It's
yeah.
Well, we got the old Mary guy yawning over there. I'm totally joking. I'm totally joking. Luke.
Wilkie's putting Luke to sleep.
I know, right? I have that effect.
You have a soothing voice, Wilkie.
Yeah,
it's a very soothing voice.
Well, thank you.
You just hypnotized me, man.
And there you go, Joe. I'm going to be quiet, Joe. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I was going to say, for me, this is my first time watching this. I've never seen any John Wayne movies before this, and it definitely piqued my interest because just seeing what the scenery looks like and everything, and seeing the acting was like, yeah, give me more of this. This is perfect.
So, three of you, this was your first John Wayne movie?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Wow,
that's a lot. Yeah.
I'm not saying anything bad, but there's so many. I start digging in. I start thinking oh man, I'd love to start throwing out suggestions for you to if you dig them. There's a lot of fun.
I wonder what our next one is gonna be. I don't know. I definitely want to do another John Wayne talk in the future.
Do The Conqueror. That's
maybe
the
Desperado.
I've
heard about Desperado.
Desperado. No, that's That's
No,
Antonio
that's not him.
Banderas.
Oh, that's not okay. Never mind. I thought Jordan Panther said Desperado. What did he say?
It was El Dorado.
El Dorado.
But
You could do that.
I would definitely suggest Rio Bravo. It's
Rio
a fun,
Bravo is a great one.
Fun little bit of suspense, and also got some good comedy in there, especially from Walter Brennan.
Yeah,
and
the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys.
I always like that one.
Of course, you got to do True Grit. That's the film that got him his first and only Academy Award.
Wow.
Then if you want to see him outside of Westerns, you could go to, like, is it Sansa Iwo Jima?
Yeah, Sansa Iwo Jima,
then,
the Green Berets.
Yeah.
And of course, you can also do The Quiet Man, which is another iconic film of his with John Ford.
You have a lot to pick from. We'll just say that.
I'm quite interested in seeing Quiet Man. Like, I want to see a comedy.
I want to watch these casually too. I want to watch it casually and just have fun with a John Wayne movie.
Funnily enough, in Quiet Man, there's a famous scene where he and Maureen O'Hara cross paths alone for the first time, and it's like he plants a big kiss on her, and then she like throws a haymaker in his face. She literally broke her hand when she did that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, that's weak. She broke her hand.
Well, she still held her own in the scene. She's like, it's like she throws the fist at him, and you wouldn't even think that based on her performance.
That's insane.
Well, he looks like he's got a strong chin. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, like, iron chin, break her hand.
Yeah. She's like, "It's a bold one you are. And who gave you leave to be kissing me?" Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
What is she? Is that like Russian or something?
No, she's Irish.
Oh, she's
Irish.
I know that's a terrible Irish accent. But yeah.
Are you Irish?
I got some Irish and Scottish, mostly Scottish.
Okay.
I could do a Scottish accent better than an Irish, probably.
Yeah, that's not.
Oh damn.
I can do an Iowa. I can do an Iowa-ish accent.
Nice. Wow, very rare. Very rare.
Yeah. But yeah, like Maureen O'Hara is another great actress who has so many great films, like the original Parent Trap. What else? She was also in McClintock with John Wayne, and another Western that they did together, Rio Grande, which they did before The Quiet Man. It was actually the film that was able to help get The Quiet Man made, because the studio didn't want to do The Quiet Man. They thought it was like not going to be a great film. It was John Ford's passion project, but the studio was like, "Tell you what, you do this Western for us, which is a guaranteed hit, and then we'll give you the money to do The Quiet Man, your little vanity project."
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Here, let's get to some of these chats real quick. Oh gosh. Yeah, Rebel Rose. Joe wants it to be like he comes out on the porch and sits down. He slowly slums down and dies. His mission complete.
I mean, that'll be a hell of an ending.
So lame.
You could be like, my job is done.
Or like he just sits and finally rests for the first time. Oh, so it was 8 years.
Yeah.
It was 8 years of war, and then 5 straight years of finding this girl. So that's whatever that number is.
Point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I can see that.
That's fair. Yeah.
He just sits down and just takes a breath for the first time.
I feel like that would do his character a lot more justice than just, dying on the spot.
Yeah.
It'll be a little bit more dramatic than that.
Oh yeah,
It could be like, and then
look who's finally here. Cassie hasn't been in the chat in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I remember when she was one of the only ones in the chat. Now she's back.
She's an OG.
An OG. Yes. Hi guys. I know I'm joining late, but I hope everyone is doing well in here tonight. Whiteheart. Very nice. Good to have you back, Cass. Thanks for joining us. And then oh gosh, Rebel Rose. There were talks about remaking Big Trouble in Little China with The Rock. Thank God that was abandoned. Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that part with The Rock.
Oof.
That'd be weird.
No. Unfortunately, nothing works with The Rock. Just nothing. The new Moana looks so bad.
I'm not saying that. There's just some of those that have. I don't know. It's just hard seeing somebody else play roles sometimes after you.
I mean, Dwayne Johnson was great. Was good in Walking Tall. I mean, one of his first films.
I forgot about that one.
Well, people like him in Smashing Machine. You know, right?
I still have
Everyone
not
loved
seen
him,
that. I still
you
have
know
not
what I
seen
mean?
that one.
Yeah, it's weird how that was such a dud too. But yeah, I think that's it for us, everybody. Does everyone recommend John Wayne's classic, The Searchers, 1956?
Oh
Yes.
Yes. I think it's an absolute recommend. You need to see it. It's a great entrance to John Wayne. I'm glad this was our first one. I'm hooked. I'm excited for more. I'm eager for more. I'm also eager. It's funny. You know, we talked about Planet of the Apes a while ago, and ever since, I remember after watching it, I liked it. I didn't think much about it, and now I cannot stop playing it in the background. I play it over and over again. I love it. So now I think my next, if there's going to be a sequel to something that we talk about, it's going to be the next Planet of the Apes.
Now you need more Charleston.
Yes,
Heston,
I
right?
love him. Charlton Heston.
Does it carry on from the ending from the first one when the Statue of Liberty they find out they're in New York?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, I hope that's how it picks up.
If you're getting into Charlton Heston, you're going to have to talk about Ben-Hur eventually.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good one. And the Ten Commandments, right? Yeah, but next week, everybody, we are going to be talking about Last Action Hero. So that'll be interesting.
I've heard of that. Who's in that?
In time for July 4th. Yes. So next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Angry Badger is going to be joining us with
I saw it in the
Bobby
theater
with Hard Cut. Wow.
Last
I'm
Action
old.
Hero.
When did that come out? That was 90s, right?
Who's the main
93, I think.
actor?
Ago.
Who's the main actor in that one?
Arnold
It's
Schwarzenegger.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Come on, bro.
I know
That
that
guy.
one. I haven't seen it.
Hey, you want to be a
Great
farmer?
soundtrack too. You got a good 90s soundtrack on that one.
Yeah. Nice. But everybody watching, we appreciate you all for joining us tonight. We had a great time. This was a great talk. Thank you all. Wilkie, World War Joe, Ian, Luke.
Thanks for having me on.
That was great. It was great having you on again, Wilkie. We missed you so much.
Yes, we did.
We talk about you a lot. We do.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
No, it's good. It's always good. It's always good. So yeah, we appreciate
that Corey.
We don't talk about everybody. We also talk about World War Joe and Ian, of course.
Yeah.
We don't talk about World War Joe so much because World War Joe's here almost every week.
I live here now.
It's great. You live here in this ring. That's correct.
It's always a good time. So thanks again for having me.
Yes,
on,
of course. Of course. Everybody, please be sure to go in the description below and subscribe to these people. It's always supportive. It's always fun. It just gets you excited. It gives you some fuel to keep making content. And Wilkie does a lot of great live streams on his channel, like I've said before. He's awesome. So, yeah, be sure to check them out. That's it for us, everybody. Never forget, give him the Duke and give him the dog. We'll see you next week, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Bye-bye.
See you, everyone.
What kind of person are you? Are you the kind that sees signs, sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky?